Thing said, you feel me? I think that's the most important thing. What up, y'all? Please see Nation. How y'all doing? My dog Random in the building.
What's good? What's good?
You know,
what's good?
first things first, let's make sure we shout out our gold members. Shout out to Hermias MR, Terry, IDWC, Avion Plumber. Shout out to our Hall of Fame members. Shout out to our legend members. Want to be a part of the Player Choice community? You know what to do. All the information you need is in the bio. And, you know, keep being ready for this new content we got coming out for y'all. First things first. First things first, you know, I think the most important thing to say is prayers up to Nick Chubb. Obviously, you know, we're going to talk a lot of college football today, but, you know, my prayers up to Nick Chubb. I just think, you know, seeing Nick Chubb go down by far one of the worst things that could have happened to that Browns team. One of the most consistent backs in the league.
Low-key Iron Man.
Yeah, the injury was definitely gruesome. They didn't play it again. I'm really sad to see him go down like this. Wishing him, you know, the speedy recovery. It's a horrible L for the Browns, and you know, prayers up to Nick Chubb, man. That was
tough. I could only see it once. Usually, I don't really have a
problem. Hey, man, that was like, you know, it was bad when ESPN didn't want to show the replay. That's how you know it was bad.
What got me was when they showed, because they were in Pittsburgh. And, you know, in the beginning, they were being like how all home fans are. And then they saw the injury. You hear that collective gasp in the stadium. And they were like, damn. You know, and obviously that's your hated rival. And they was like, nah, we want this boy back. And it's not even just a loss on the field. It's the loss because he's a staple on that team. He's a leader on that team. He's a staple in the community. It's just it's tough to lose somebody like that. And I think as the game going on, it wasn't even just the way he ran the ball; it's how he pass protects too, which is an underrated part of his game. And they missed him. They missed him all day.
Oh yeah, that it showed when he left. It showed how much Cleveland really missed him. Like,
I know this man ain't flexing. He ain't flexing over a 3-point win.
You can't flex that win. You can't flex that win.
You can't flex that win.
You can't flex that win. Because he was good. Grant was in the game watching that shit. I might have.
Oh yeah, I was.
Like they can't lose.
Hey, J-Rob. We didn't jump Bama Saturday, man. I was trying to defeat the situation. I was trying to be the middle.
No.
I heard y'all boys tried to black Bama eye on TV on live TV last week.
because he was wilding. That's what he was doing.
No, what he said. I was trying to help out. I was trying to save Bama, dog. I was trying to be the moderator. I was trying.
Okay, so he was sitting there. He was glazing Colorado, as you know, as they should. And what was he saying? He was like, man, he did this at a.
It was Alabama stuff that got y'all wild.
No, because he wanted to start with Colorado. He wanted to start Colorado. What's up, Damo? He wanted to start with Colorado, and then we was like, no. You can't just skip over that piss poor performance against South Florida. So he was like, no. Then he was like, you know, anything, even the biggest empire's fault. They started talking about Alabama's history. I was like, no. And then
you gotta focus on the present, man.
Yeah, and I was talking with Trent, and I was like, Trent, if this was LSU and they played like that, what would Bama be saying? And Trent kept it 100. Bama would be talking so much mess. He said, that's still a D1 football team. I was like, nah, Bama, y'all act like it's the same kind of talent.
Yeah.
Right? Like, y'all act like that's the same kind of talent, Bama. Like, you can't, we would not let him get off those terrible excuses that he was using for real.
That's
true. Like, no, you can't do that. You can't do that.
What's good? Y'all doing good today?
Yeah, we're doing Gucci. So obviously, you know, we gotta set the tone. Context. We gotta set the tone with the college football. My dog Trey in the building, man. Let's get it.
What up?
How you doing? What up? Good. So obviously, you know, the title of the show, Shedeur is a top 5 pick. Pac-12 is the new SEC. I think it's time to attack. The first thing I want to attack before we even get into Shedeur being a top 5 pick in the NFL draft coming up. The Pac-12 being a new SEC, that's what I want to talk about. And what I mean by that in terms of the new SEC is, let's be honest. There's not a conference more competitive in college sports right now other than the Pac-12. Now, I understand we could look at the SEC, who has been the most dominant conference of the last 2 decades? Maybe more.
Looking shaky now, baby. They looking shaky
right now. But this year, they have not looked like that dominant level conference. And what I mean by that, obviously, it's a little clickbait, y'all. That's a little clickbait. You know, we don't really think they're the new SC, the new SEC, but this year they are the most competitive conference. And what makes me think they're the most competitive conference is one, I think the quarterback play across the board. I mean, even
all the talent
two
in the Pac-12, all the quarterbacks.
Yes, sir. And then the two kids, the two true freshmen that are starting, Jaden Rashada and Dante Moore. Them two, both of them, they're also going to be studs. You know what I'm saying? So it's really crazy. I think, and I keep saying this because it gotta be known. Like the Pac-12, 100% is having its best year in sports in terms of its competitiveness from a football standpoint, and they 100% are literally not going to be the same level of team conference anymore, and they're probably going to absolve the Mountain West Conference. So it's sad to say that, but right now in terms of competitiveness, the Pac-12 is the one team that I know without a shadow of a doubt, whoever wins that conference should automatically get a bid into the playoff.
Let's keep this let's keep this in perspective, fellas. So the Pac-12 right now has 8 ranked teams.
Yeah,
8 of
they
them.
have 8 undefeated teams.
That's crazy.
Three of them are in the top 10, and so it goes. First of all, the fact that nobody's speaking about how good Washington is a crime.
That's
nobody's talking.
Penix has been playing out of his mind.
Look at it. USC's number 5. Or Washington's number 8. Oregon is number 10. Utah is number 11. What do you call it? Oregon State's 14. Then you got Colorado at 19. Then you got Washington State at 21 and UCLA at 22. This entire conference is stacked, and the craziest part is this is essentially the last year of it. This is the last year.
I mean, we have so much.
Hold on,
we have so much talent on the quarterback on the quarterback side. It's just crazy. Like, and most of the quarterbacks in that division are like top, really high rated picks for this coming up draft. So, you know, it's a good thing. It's a nice thing.
2 first-round quarterbers, maybe 3. 2, maybe 3
quarterbacks
in the first round. From
Michael Penix, Shedeur, and Caleb.
Put some respect on Caleb's name.
This is where I gotta stop lying about stuff. No team in the Pac-12 is beating the SEC team. Did you not watch Utah versus Florida with their backup quarterback? Utah just beat Florida with their backup quarterback. So what are you talking about?
If you watch that Florida game, Florida's offense could do absolutely nothing against that Utah defense. Utah's offense was like running up and down the field with that run game, especially, and that's really what Utah.
Let's be real. Let's be real. If Alabama and USC play tomorrow,
they getting beat by 30.
They losing, bro.
They're getting beat,
bro. They're losing.
And that's why
Alabama secondary is getting torched.
Utah is missing some defensive players in that game too. Utah had more than Cam Rising missing. They had a receiver missing, two of their best linebackers.
Yeah, and then now without the starting QB. So that's what's crazier even more. But I think the big thing with the Pac-12 is it's so weird that in the last year, which is basically this is probably the last year of the Pac-12, and now all the teams are just deciding to they came out and they're starting to completely play and dominate the game right now. Now, I know it's week 4, so we still have a lot of time left. But this weekend, we got some crazy games. Colorado's going into Eugene, Oregon this weekend.
Chill, Todd, I swear. Get your behind the back education out of here, bro. Chill. Pluto's not a planet no more. Chill, Todd, accept it.
I got one question for y'all. I got one question for y'all. What's Bo Nick's ceiling to y'all? Like, what's his ceiling to y'all, like, as far as like draft wise and like quarterback wise?
He's not a first round quarterback, in my opinion.
I say second round. I don't think he's
how
first
old
round.
Is he? Because he's
old.
I don't think he's a second round either.
Nah, he's not Stetson Bennett.
How old?
I think it'd probably be honestly.
Bo Nix is 23. He's my age, so
he's not that old.
He's not that old for on the college.
He's not young either. So
no,
he's not young.
I thought him going.
I got him probably second, third round. I'm gonna be honest. The problem is you really got to understand. Shedeur shook the room. Like he shook the he shook the room. Whether people want to get behind that, I'm gonna keep it 1,000 because let's just say Colorado only wins 7 games this year. They go 7-5 or whatever. Let's just say that happens. Shedeur's numbers and ability he would still be considered a top. He probably would still be considered a high level evaluated draft pick.
Because for somebody call man on. Fuck all that shit. Y'all just said some bullshit before I got off this shit. For somebody called my
God, bro.
First
We not
off,
about to do this,
No, let him
Bama.
go. Let him go. Let him go. Let him go.
J-Rod, mute this nigga.
Let him go.
Man.
Let him go. Let him go.
Mute
Yeah,
this
let him go.
nigga.
Let him go.
J-Rod,
Let him
mute
go.
him.
Let
I
him
don't
go.
wanna
Let him
talk
go.
until he muted. Yeah, thank you. Mute that nigga. Next offense, you getting your ass kicked out, and then you
I'll be
gonna
right
have
back.
to text me in Discord to get back in here, nigga. Remember, raise your hand when I'm talking. Don't talk. Raise your motherfucking hand. Right
Raise your hand is crazy. Raise your hand is crazy.
Put in, you, cause what y'all finna do? Y'all finna start giving respect to what the SEC was, bro. See, this is what y'all do, bro.
No,
Once the sticks,
Let him go. Let him go. Let him go. Let him go. Let him go.
Once it's time to pass the sticks, now y'all ready just to start throwing low blows, bro. Remember, the SEC had already showed you this when we had 5, 6, 7 teams in the top ranked nationally 25. We already showed you this when we had 3, 4 potential teams that could make the playoffs. Really, it's been a few years where you could argue where the college football playoffs should have just been all SEC and just let it go from there. We'll say that for you. So now all of a sudden, all of these little flag football leagues that's been playing flag football since the existence, since the beginning of time, now they have finally got their chance where they have a good team or two, and now y'all want to sit here and throw low blows, bro. That's hella weak, bro. First, USC would have to prove that they could beat Alabama, because if we go off of track records, the last time y'all came out there with all that USC bullshit, 56 shit, y'all got murdered. Y'all got
we got murdered. We got walked. We got walked.
So I'm not finna hear that. If anything, the whole Pac-12, yeah, that's fine and then I'm gonna clap for you on everything. I'm gonna clap. We might even get a strip or two for you niggas. But until then, one of y'all show us that you can lift up that trophy at the end of the season, bro, I don't want to hear it, bro. Congratulations. We happy for you. You got 91 teams in the top 25. Congratulations. But
wait, can I ask you a question, Bill?
Will one of you seal the deal and go whole way with the gusto? You got Caleb Williams, y'all got Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes. I heard so many people. What y'all got? Go ahead, seal the deal at the end of the season with them, please. And then can we get to a point to where the Pac-12 dominates for 3 years, 4 years, 5 years?
Okay, but
Pac-12
I feel it.
Okay, but Bama, before you,
then we can start. Then we can have this arrogance what you guys have right now. Then we can can Alabama beat USC? Yeah.
Hold on. I just want to say this. It's not an arrogance thing, and I'm not saying the SEC are still not the perennial power of college football. I'm not taking that away from them. They are still the most dominant force in college football. I'm giving you that. But bro, I have to say this, Bama. The Pac-12 more competitive this year, bro. It is like ultimately, bro. The teams this year in your conference. That's all I'm gonna say. Outside of you guys, Georgia and LSU. And LSU, there's really the rest of your conference, bro. If you took the rest of that conference outside of y'all three and threw them in a USC game, Oregon State, Utah, I don't think them teams is coming out dominant like we used to seeing, bro. I'm just saying because I think the quarterback play is better on the West Coast right now, 1,000%. And listen, realistically, the quarterback play in the SEC, the best quarterback in the conference,
West Coast always had better quarterback play.
I understand. But what I think is the competition at the other positions, that shit looks better too this year. Like the reason why Washington is so elite. Look at if you go and look at that Washington football team, bro, they got about 4 or 5 players. They got about 4 or 5 players, bro, that legitimately could go day 1, day 2. The quarterback, they got 2 receivers that probably going first and second round. They got 2 defensive ends. I think one is a kid, so I don't think one is eligible. But the other one, I think he could go day 2, day 1, day 3, depending on who you ask. So it's just like I think the rest of the country, bro, is starting to catch up with the SEC. And I blame that really the biggest demise to me about the SEC is the portal. Because now guys are going to other places, allowing themselves to excel.
No,
Like
I wouldn't say it's catching up.
They're
J-Rob.
not staying.
I
They're
think
not
it's
staying
literally
behind
got
these
to
I
a
big
point.
still
dogs.
think I just want to say I just want to make sure I say I still think the SEC is still the power of
No.
college football, bro.
No,
I don't
no,
want
no,
to
no,
take
no,
that
no,
away.
no.
I'm not taking that away.
What I will say, J-Rob, you're not wrong with you saying that the SEC isn't the pinnacle of football no more. I'm not disagreeing with that.
Mhm.
Really, what we watching in college football, along with the rise of the NL deal. But what happened, Dev? You can even attest to this. Julio Jones literally went to Georgia to recruit Deshaun Watson himself, bro. It was Julio. They bought Mark Ingram. They bought like all the big guns. Do you know when they got to his house what Deshaun Watson said? He said, bro, I appreciate y'all boys showing up. It mean a lot to me that y'all did this. But he said, I want to be a part of the group that beats Alabama. I'm not finna go and add on to y'all legacy. So now we 10 years deep. This is talk about Alabama. Alabama dominated college football for the previous 10 years before this. So
Well, that
now we
shit is
see an
over.
influx of kids. We see an
Shit is
influx of
over.
kids. Instead of go to Alabama and be 4th, 5th string, I'm going to go to a Colorado. I'm going to go to a USC. I'm going to go to a Oregon. I'm going to go to a Georgia. I'm going to go to a Tennessee. And then be able to compete against this same Alabama team that said I was going to be 4th or 5th string. I'm gonna compete against these guys, and when this game, when the game goes on, bro, I'm finna give these boys hell, 60 minutes of hell, bro. For the simple fact of we watched this shit for 10 years. We watched Alabama have the luxury of being able to have a Julio Jones, Amari Cooper, Calvin Ridley, and then all of a sudden
Plethora of
you get
talent.
4 receivers. You get 4 receivers: Jared Judy, Devontae Smith, Jalen Waddle, Henry Ruggs,
Waddle.
all in
Oh
the
my
same
God,
time.
that was
Bro,
wicked.
it got to
wide
so
receiver
now
coach.
it's to a point. It's to a point to where now kids is like, nah, fuck doing that, bro. I'm finna go over here and fuck with these dudes right here, bro. Because why not? Why not? Why do we have to keep going to Alabama? Alabama had their reign of terror for a second. Now it's time. Now kids are saying, all right, bro, I want to see what it feel like to beat Alabama or some of these big schools. Now you see the rise of USC again. Now you see the rise of your Washingtons, your Washington State, your Colorados, because now these kids are saying, okay, we ain't already experienced the Alabama, the Clemson, Ohio State, the Georgia. We didn't experience this. So now with the NIL money, I can go get this bag in LA. I can get this bag in Colorado. I can get this bag in Texas. I can get this bag in New York. I can get this bag in Connecticut. The bag is transferable. You see what I'm saying? So now that I knowing that, what is binding me to go to Alabama now? Because once upon a time it was just the NFL factory. Now that's a lie because you could go to NFL everywhere, right or wrong.
Facts.
The best
Just to
player
shoot
on New England defense played Division II. Dunger.
James Houston played with James Houston the fourth played with Jackson State. Got out of Jackson State with
on
Dion.
Jackson State.
So
Put some respect on his name, please.
Now I'm seeing kids instead of saying I'm gonna just go to these national powerhouses and just sit and wait my turn.
Still on the bench. There it is. What's the point? What's the point of me sitting behind all these guys? Yeah, going through the tradition, like, I'm gonna take my L, like, you know what I mean? I'm gonna sit down, I'm not gonna get no PT, although, like, because that's the what's been happening for the past 10 years with Alabama, right? Because you can get into the league and there's so many eyes, especially in the SEC, there's so many eyes that pays attention to it, right? You can kind of like hoodwink the kids and say, like, it don't matter. You're on Clemson, you're on Alabama, you're gonna get the scouts are gonna come see. You're guaranteed, like, you know what I mean? I need some eyes on you. You know what I'm saying? But now eyes are everywhere. Talent.
It's the only dub Clemson getting today.
Hold on. Let him go.
Yeah, but, like, you know what I mean? Like, cause I grew up Bama, the NIL deal, and the fact that scouts are looking everywhere. It's more visible. It's not quite as kept because obviously everybody knows talent is everywhere, right?
Your mic is going haywire right now.
Over the past 10 years, they were definitely focusing on the big blue chips. You know what I'm saying? But now it's kind of spread out, and now the kids are realizing, yo, as long as I get playing time and I show my talent, I can play anywhere. You know what I mean?
Hey, can I say this?
What's good,
Can I
horse?
say this about I hear what Bama saying. I hear what Bama saying 100% that the SEC is the pinnacle. Like, you want to beat those guys. Like, you want to beat those guys, and I understand that. My thing now, like what everybody said, it's time to change, especially now that the Pac-12 is gone. Like the super conferences, like next year or the years coming out, the SEC is not gonna be the pinnacle. It's not gonna be like fully dominant because now the Big Ten's a super conference. And now, like, other teams, like, and you see the SEC trying to like recruit other teams to make them stay more of that power. So like they want because the SEC wants to get Clemson and FSU potentially, and you see the ACC right now going to get trying to become a super conference as well, recruiting. They got Stanford. And what's the other team they got? I forgot the other team.
Stanford is bonsai right now, but they're going Stanford and Cal. They're going to the ACC.
Stanford not like what they were a few years ago. No, they're not like the same team.
But I think the ACC also got them because they have a good educational standard. Because ACC schools have like a high level of education. But
the ACC is going to be the Ivy League of Power 5 football because of just the schools in the conference. So, but I gotta. But I was going to say, Bam, you here, right?
Yeah.
Bam.
What's good, stepdaddy Darius?
So my question to you
is, what's with that user tag name? I gotta know.
So obviously we all agree that obviously I agree with you that I still would say the SEC is the pinnacle. So what do you think? You don't, because you said you don't think that everybody's catching up. You just think that it's getting more spread out. Like the talent is finally getting more spread out. It's not saturated anymore.
It's getting more transparent now. It's like, bro, why would I sit and go wait for 1 year at Alabama, even though I know I'm gonna go to the league, right? So if we playing this sweat the league game, right? Why would I sit there and just go be a practice dummy for 2.5 years and just wait on that one moment?
That's
when
fair.
if we go into the league now, let's all be honest, bro. We all know the kids that's gonna get ready to go to like a Travis. He was gonna go to the league if he would have went to Jackson State. Alabama said, fuck it, Shasta College where I work. He was just destined to go to the NFL. So if I'm a Travis Hunter, why would I go to Alabama and sit down for 2 years or 1 year? We'll just say, why would I go there and sit down when I could go on here and run the court? If I'm finna go to the league regardless, right? I'm not finna go sit down for 2 years. I'm finna go have fun, play my freshman, maybe my sophomore year, freshman year, keep playing, bro, and go from there. Like, I'm not just finna sit down.
That's
so
fair.
now we seeing a spread out instead of all of these kids just sitting on this one team. Now they spreading it out. Oh, I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna go over here. Now I ain't got to sit out a year, so I really can go ASAP. Like that's what we used to see. That was also another a lapse in when kids used to transfer. You remember I used to have to sit out a year. I don't know if I'm dating myself or not.
Yeah, no. You did. Me and Trey are of that era. We are of that era.
That's crazy.
Yep, we are of that era.
Well, Bama, you don't think people are going to care about winning? Like, at the end of the day, people love people.
I'm gonna tell you. Hold on, Deb. Nah, because I gotta. No, that is out the window now, bro. I'm telling you right now because
power.
Because money is. Rob said it best. Money is power, and Bama hit it on the nose. See, the reason why one of the biggest reasons why Alabama was able to be so dominant for the last decade plus is because they got a stockpile full of 5 stars. Your backup is a 5-star. Your backup is starting as a true freshman on every other team in the nation. Just not Alabama right now because this other 5-star about to be a first-round pick too. So you pretty much trade in first-round picks for other first-round picks. But now because of NIL and Dev, your buddy Dabo Sweeney better get on board or he'll be out of a job.
That's facts. That's facts.
You better get on board because he's out of a job because I'm gonna tell you right now, these kids are not sitting.
He's not my boy though.
That's your head coach. Right now, because if you sit behind 5 stars, 5-star talent is not sitting no more. Like that 5-star, why would I sit in Alabama and wait to go play when I could go get $500K to go play somewhere else? I know recruits. I'm telling you right now, I know a recruit right now. I'm not going to say the college or whatever, but a high school kid I personally know from my state is getting $70,000 to go to a school in his pocket, $70,000. That's at 18 years old.
That's insane.
70. That's a lot of money.
That's crazy.
Hey, J-Rob, I got my first scholarship. It was 7 bands. I remember how I felt when I got that set.
Bank meals, you have room and board, all of that. Bruh, I was getting $2,000 a semester. I thought that was big money. Kids is getting 70 raps, 100,000. So why would I go sit if I go make some money and play? Yeah, so it's like that's why the rest of the world they gotta catch up and not catch up, but that's why like the Alabamas and Georgias, not only they're gonna have to recruit a little different, but the Clemsons of the world, they're gonna have to utilize the portal. You know what I'm saying? Like they are going to have to find those players for you to.
All I'm hearing right now is Bama is done. Bama is done.
I think the biggest thing is as a fan with and hold up.
Go ahead,
Bama,
bro, and then go Grant after.
For Dabo, that shit over with Dabo, bro. Listen here, all the receivers,
Dabo dynasty dead. I'm
that
calling it now.
create separation and that can catch the ball and contest it pack in traffic. Boy, them boys so NIL money. I'm gonna let Dabo know that right now.
Yeah,
the receivers when he came out so openly hearted, chest poked out like Clark.
Facts.
Talking about some
facts.
Oh, you don't need NIL money on my team.
They wasn't trying to hear none of that.
All the receivers you need. You talking about you ain't got receiving create separation, but all the ones that create separation want NIL money, Dabo. So who gonna break Dabo? And Dub, listen here, Sugarfoot. I'm finna let you know a little bit thing about dynasty, bro.
I want to hear this.
I'm okay. I can close my eyes and go to sleep knowing that in my lifetime I've witnessed Alabama win a championship. Once upon a time, when I was in middle school, I couldn't say that shit because the last championship they won was 1992. So I can die and go to sleep a faithful Alabama fan knowing that we had college football by the belt buckle, bro.
You niggas suck.
How do you?
He's not lying about that. They did have college football by the belt buckle.
I gotta tell him this. Because I gotta tell him this, right? But how rewarding is it though? When you was just taking advantage of young guys trying their hardest to make it to the league, and that was the only spot available for them. Like, how rewarding is it? You weren't getting it out the mud. You was hoarding talent. Now that the talent is no longer hoarded, now they really gotta play football and coach. And now it's looking like they not like that. So maybe that dynasty is fraudulent, baby. Maybe it's just a fraudulent dynasty.
He said they was hoarding the talent. He said they was hoarding it. He said they was hoarding.
They had Derrick Henry.
Nah, bro.
Who's the one that they had on Alabama?
2018 Alabama.
The reason why I say you being nasty. The reason why I say you being nasty. First off, Derrick Henry was recruited by Georgia, Clemson, and other places to play tight end. Alabama was one of the very few schools that gave him an opportunity to play running back. That's why he went to Alabama.
Tight end?
On top of this,
oh hell no!
They were trying to recruit him to play tight end.
Go back and watch Derrick Henry. Watch him at all the Nike combines. He was playing running back and tight end. That tight end was going to be his claim to fame.
He was still hoarding talent. It doesn't matter.
Linebacker, but also on top of this, 5-star recruits like that at all. Alabama never got 5-star.
Yeah, but W being nasty because a lot of teams do that stack talent because we seen Ohio State they had Joe Burrow off the bench.
Yeah, you got to. That's just the point.
In Alabama,
all I know is now they can't do it no more, and they no longer a powerhouse, man.
Well, I mean,
no, you can't say that. No, you can't say that.
Colorado,
more powerhouses in college football, though. I think the powerhouses is over.
Well, three-peat.
I don't know.
I think the issue with that.
No. Georgia's not a powerhouse this year, bro. They're beatable too.
If you guys watch, like,
beatable right now. Go ahead, Greg.
Yeah, Georgia. If you've watched, like, first thing I'm gonna say about Georgia, if you watched that South Carolina game, they were doing nothing offensively, and they finally managed to make it click in the second half, and so that's the way they won that game. Now, going off of what Bama said, and what Dub said,
give us some time.
I'm not saying anything wrong with the quarterback. I'm not dissing the dude. I'm just saying, if you're the number one team in the country, you got to be able to win these games that you can win. But that's just what I'm saying. I think I'm gonna give him time, but right now, it was a solid game. But I agree with Bama, and I also agree with Dub. Like, I think the talent thing is somewhat an issue because if you look at, in my opinion, the 2018 Alabama team was one of the best teams that Alabama has ever had under Nick Saban. When you look at a talent-wise roster, they had 5 stars under 5 stars under 5 stars. So if someone got hurt, they could put someone in to replace them, and they could have that same amount of talent level that they were getting from that starter. Now, I think the issue is the transfer portal and NIL are the same, have caused a big rift in the game because now it's not the talented players can go to this school and then they can sit. It's basically what J-Rob said. A school can pay a kid $70,000 to come and play for them. And it's now with that, it's the thing. Like the transfer portal this year was ridiculously active. And that's because of these NIL deals. And I think the problem is, especially Dev, I'm going to have to swing on Clemson. I'm sorry. But with Dabo, again, this is with Dabo. He didn't want to enter the portal. He didn't want to deal with that with NIL. And he said he didn't need it. And look at the situation. And then you look at what Coach Prime is doing with Colorado. They are 3-0 right now, and they were able to do it with a whole new roster and been able to recruit that way. So I think it works both ways. But I think the problem is now it's not going forward with college football with the super conferences, and then you also have to look at the talent pools itself. I think the issue is going to be now it's more going to be what school is going to offer me the most money, and then I can go there, and then I can probably play there. And it just is probably going to be someone, I don't remember who said this, but some coach said this at a media day. They basically said that this is going to turn into the NFL without a salary cap.
As it should, bro. I'm going to be real with you. It should be this way. Listen, as somebody who's played the game, bro, I wouldn't have made $1 million evaluation, but I would have did every local thing I could have done. Dub, holla at me. I would have did every local event to make sure I could get on. Like it didn't matter. It was bigger than that. Because at the end of the day, bro, my college experience as an athlete, and Trey, you can answer this. You played at a very high level. Shit, you went an entire year where you didn't lose a game. You literally beat LSU, and y'all woke up Joe Burrow. You could have made so much bread that year, Trey, but you couldn't because of the stipulations ahead. And you know how much money did UCF probably bank off of y'all that season?
Man,
they were the most popular school in the world.
Everybody's talking about is they got ESPN at the.
Everybody was talking about UCF, bro.
Yeah,
y'all was the most.
Go
ahead.
You talking about you was there in national championship year?
Yeah, when they won. And the thing about that, yes, he played on that team. He was the starting safety.
Position?
He played safety.
Wait, hold up. I gotta look this up. This is crazy.
Trey Neal, man. Make sure I look up my dog.
Put some respect on his name.
Put some respect on his motherfucking name, man. But yeah, but that's my thing. Like those type of. I don't feel bad for the NCAA, bro. Did y'all not watch Johnny Manziel's interview? His document. Adidas made $40 million off that number 2 jersey. He didn't see a
They built the whole stadium around that.
You understand? Bro, his jerseys literally bought the new stadium that they playing in right now. And my question is like, bro, if I found out that Nike or Adidas, Under Armour made $40 million off my jersey, I would throw up in my mouth, bro. I would be throwing up because y'all literally making a lifetime's worth of money. And I don't even see a percentage because I'm an amateur. But the thing is, Trey, you know this. They treat us like employees. We are treated like employees. I can't tell you about no club I was a participant of in college. I didn't have the ability to find other interests in college. I was look at my hands, y'all. I was a student first, athlete second. Student first, athlete second.
Right. What's so funny about that student first bullshit? I remember one time, I had a big ass report that was due, right? We had a game coming up. I think we had like a Friday game or something like that. I think my report was due Thursday. We had a Friday game. It was Wednesday at practice, bro. I asked Coach, I was like, Coach, can I get out of practice early to finish up this report because it's due tomorrow? That boy Coach said, you walk up out them fences early, you won't be playing Friday. So in the back of my head, I'm like,
that's really facts, though. I'm laughing.
That's how it is.
If we really students first, as a coach, you're supposed to be like, oh yeah, Bam, I know you got an important paper.
Right.
Nigga, I literally had to be tired as fuck, eyes red in the morning like a deep monster.
100%.
It's the same.
Man, look at them graduation rates in the 90s. It's crazy.
Like, bro, like it's wild.
Nah, he's dead. He's dead. Lying. He's dead. Not telling no lies.
It's the same.
To talk with that student athlete shit. At my university, bro, we had to be outside, feet on the line for mat drills at 4:30. All my athletes know what mat drills is.
Oh, my God.
When mat drills is over, 6:15, you better be down at the Timpkin Center for workouts. And then 8 o'clock, you better be on time in the front row for your 8 o'clock.
Right. And you better be at your class on time.
You better be at class on time, or you're not.
All that shit front loaded because guess what? You got meetings, at 2 p.m.
But that nobody care about that jersey, me.
We get it. You beat the Cardinals. Congratulations, sir. You beat a team that's hot garbage. Congratulations,
bro.
Can we talk about it?
Mute this man, J-Rob. Mute this man, please.
Not right now. Not right. We can talk about it at some point, but not right now.
He beat a team with everybody on there with NIL deals. Everybody.
That's crazy.
Facts. Yeah, they literally paying players with NIL deals. But yeah, so I don't really feel bad. Like Dabo Swinney, I don't feel bad for Dabo Swinney. You know why I definitely don't feel bad for Dabo Swinney? Because like Bama said, you came out there with your chest poked all high, and you didn't know Deion Sanders was coming to college football to shake your room. You came there all high, thinking I'm Dabo Swinney, and you guys gotta love me because Jesus football and Marion Joseph and Clemson football. This is all you need.
Ain't nothing wrong with Jesus, though. Nothing wrong with Jesus, though.
Nothing wrong with Jesus.
Nothing wrong with
Jesus. But listen, there's nothing wrong with Jesus. But
I know what you mean.
You can't tell an 18-year-old kid whose mama on welfare, Jesus is gonna lead the way. And Texas Longhorns is offering me $2 million to play.
They offering me $1 million.
Jesus put $2 million in my face. That's my blessing.
Yeah. I think the biggest issue also with Clemson as well is that Dabo was not ready to have a life after Trevor Lawrence. And so he put his trust in Ugalele, and he thought that kid was going to be the guy to keep him continuing to compete.
No.
And then when you find out
Ugalele is nice, though. Have you been watching?
Yeah, but I'm not saying he's not nice. I'm saying I think Dabo expected him to perform at a higher level, and when he didn't, and then he transferred, he didn't have somebody to put in that position to be able to contend. And then we look at this team now and it's a whole other conversation we can get into, but I just want to try and stay on top real quick.
I'm going to stay on the NIL.
Do y'all like the transfer portal?
I love it. I love it.
Nah, hell no, I'm not a fan.
Why? No. Let them answer that. No.
Wait.
Why?
Let him go first, and let me Trey or Bama answer because we literally could tell you from a personal level, experience level, why I love it. Go ahead, Tyson.
I mean,
I understand, that when I think it should be maybe an exception when coaches leave or something, head coaches or something like that bounce and go. But I was digging the fact that you lose a year eligibility when you transfer. You can still transfer, but you lose a year, man. It's too much, bro. To just go have players leaving just for the highest bidder. I want players to get their money. Don't get that twisted. I want players to get money. Don't get that twisted. They should be paid. They should get their NIL. They should have their name and likeness. I agree with all that. But just for motherfuckers just to be bouncing around for the best situation, like that's why you do your diligence when you picking a school,
that's exactly
bro.
what coaches do, Tyson.
And that's the blessing.
I understand what coaches do. I said when coaches leave.
I agree with you. If they make a coach out a year too.
I said when coaches leave.
Is that not what we do in life? Like
so why are you trying to punish coaches?
No, that's not what we do in life. You sign the contracts most of the time in business.
Tyson, if another job
time out. No. Tyson, you blew it. Tyson, the moment you said contracts, you lost me. I'm gonna tell you why. Because
he said that's how we live in life, bro. That's all I was saying. That's what he said. But that's not true a lot of times. You just can't leave your lease because you don't like the neighborhood no more.
But college coaches do that. They sign deals. They sign deals.
Right, and I made an exception for that, J. Rob. I said if the head,
they can't.
Because when you pick a school, hold on, J. Rob. When you pick,
But you shouldn't get. I'm gonna tell you why I don't.
When you pick a school, you picking that head coach too. If he leaves,
stop it.
What?
That's not true. Because at the end of the day,
that's not true.
That's not true. Because you do pick that coach, but that coach could leave you in the dust tomorrow.
Exactly, and I said you should be able to transfer that situation.
So then why can't I do the same thing?
What's that?
But why can't I do the same thing?
Because to me, it hurts the product a little bit, bro. As a from a fan standpoint,
how does it hurt? Hold up.
How does it hurt?
Hold up. Go in detail. I want to. Why does it hurt the product if someone?
Well, first of all, we complain.
What fan would want Caleb Williams to have to sit out a year to go to USC?
If he sat out a year,
what fan would have wanted to see Jalen Hurts have to sit out a year to go to Oklahoma?
Hold on, bro. All I'm saying is, he could have stayed and played or whatever have you. You know what I'm saying? Or made his way. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying a penalty for people just jumping teams. Like it's no limit. Like I could go to.
Why is there no penalty for the coach? What gives coaches the exception? What gives them the exception versus the player?
I kind of agree with both y'all. So hear me out real quick. This is why I agree with both y'all.
They ain't let me get up. Go ahead, yeah.
In a sense, I see what he's saying by it hurt the product, because what football really is supposed to be, it's supposed to help you reveal who you are deep down. When adversity hits, it's supposed to help you overcome that. Now, it's a thin line between the J-Rod, because we had talked about the Dabos, the Nick Sabans. They ruled this game called college football with fear. So it's like, now I'm just going to stack you over here, and out of fear, you scared to go somewhere else. Now, in that sense, I'm all for a kid going somewhere else and playing. But if you just in college football and then you get somewhere and it's not what you thought it would be, and you just want to leave, even though you got every opportunity to make it what you thought it would be, and you just want to leave because you're a brat, yeah, it kind of hurting the product. Another thing I feel like with this NIL and the portal doing, bro, is really ruining the experience for high school children, bro, because Deion said
I could agree with that.
best, bro.
I could agree with that 100%.
If we got all of these players out here in the portal and we know what's wrong or what's right with them, why am I going to take a gamble on a high school kid that might have to develop for a year or two, that might not develop at all? These kids already know the expectations of college football, whether it's Power 5, D1 AA. They already know the expectations. They already in shape. They've already been molded by some type of program. Whether they didn't work out in that program or not, they've already got a blueprint of this, what college football really is. So now, unfortunately, if I'm a high school kid, if I'm not a Travis or a Kamani coming out of high school, or one of these,
I agree with that.
Overall
I agree.
picks,
I agree with that part.
This college experience is over with for me. So now it's there and there. You forcing these kids to go D2 and shit because the portal is so lucrative now. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's a gift and a curse. It's a gift.
Yeah, man. You just got cast.
Now your Dabos, now your Nick Sabans can't rule based off of fear. They can't have it in the chokehold. Now transparency. And
then when Caleb come over, what happened to the guy that picked?
But I don't think
what happened to the quarterback that picked Caleb school? You feel me? That he transferred to. Now he got to go in the transfer portal and find him another place to play because now Caleb came over.
And now he's okay. But that's but Tyson. Yeah, but Tyson, that's the nature of the beast. You can stick it. That he could.
I understand. It just gets sloppy, bro. That's all I'm saying. I think it hurts the product. I agree with you.
But it's not. No, but that quarterback right now is starting at Ole Miss right now. So Jackson Dart, I don't think he feels like he hurting the product. I hear what you're saying, but the only reason I can't get behind I feel like this. If you get I think you should. I think because really the transfer portal is only a 1 year free of charge. You know that, right?
Yes.
If you do it again, you got to sit.
You got to sit.
So if you can't do it,
it's just a one time.
It's only a one time thing.
You can't.
Okay, I thought. My bad. I thought you could do it twice.
Oh no. So you can only do it once. But I understand. Like it looks crazy sometimes because one kid started at one school, they use their transfer portal, and then they grad transfer. So when you graduate, you fulfilled your duty to the school
for sure.
But that's why I definitely think the grad transfer you should freely be able to go where you want. Usually most grad transfers.
It's like Sam Hartman right now. Notre Dame.
Yeah.
He's a grad.
You did give your 4 years to the school. So let me just say this last part before you go, Shonen. Tyson, my one issue that I don't like about that I'm cool with the transfer portal, at least for a child to have one do-over.
Okay.
For two reasons. One, because coaching rehauls happen over all the time. And I will tell you this, anytime a coaching rehaul happens, like what everybody saw from what Deion did and criticized Deion about, every coach in the country does that when they come into a new program. That's not something that just Deion did. It just only thing is Deion was so transparent about it because it was recorded that it became that way. But my head coach, when he came to UConn, even though he didn't win more games, he actually won less games when he got there. When he got in, out with the old, in with the new, he went on the media and said we need to get better players, and then his better players ended up being worse players. But that's a story. That's a story for another day. But ultimately, I look at that and I say this: Tyson, a coach can go and be like, "Listen, I can go." This they told DJ Ungalele, DJ, you probably need to leave Clemson because we're going to give K Klubnik an opportunity to be our guy, and they pushed him out the door for another player. And so I think when I look at that, like, why does DJ have to sit because his coach don't want him to be a starter, and all these other schools think they could be their guy. And I feel like that's why it go hand in hand. But if DJ sucks at Oregon State, I don't think he should be allowed to just, all right, now go play somewhere else. Like you said, I think you should be allowed one chance, but Bama hit it on
That's
the nose
fair.
too.
That's fair.
It's like free agency in the sense of, you know, high school athletes. You might have to go D1 AA for football and go be nice. Like
right.
And they make the jump.
Like,
That's cool.
Yeah, because the thing
Exactly.
thing is, like a college high school kids who aren't a top 100, top 300 player, Tyson, in my honest opinion, bro, if you really think you one of them guys, you go D1 AA, you go D2, just put up some numbers, bro. The portal will take care of the rest of the way because it's been so much success now at the top. Like, bro, the quarterback for Washington State, he was at Incarnate Word, put up stupid numbers.
Right.
Now
he got his opportunity.
Great numbers. And now
he got his opportunity to play, and he's amazing.
Shedeur Sanders put up stupid numbers at Jackson State.
Right.
So it happens all the time. Go ahead, Sean. I know you had a question.
So my question is for this is anybody at all concerned? Because I like the fact that you brought up the free agency kind of example. Is that in the NFL, to kind of prevent certain monopolies, we got the free agency plus the draft, where the worst team drafts the best talent. So that's the way to try to keep the league as even as possible to the best of their ability. As for college, with the ability to kind of pick a player and pay them, are we concerned that there will be a potential monopoly on players in the future?
College football is designed that way. Like, if you're good,
like that.
if you're a really good team, like look at how was Alabama able to stay on top for over a decade and a half? They got really good, so they got the best players. That's how college football is designed.
Yeah, and you have to also understand, Riddell, like in the sport, there are huge programs, and the reason why they're good is they were able to build off of the teams that they had success with. Like, you got to look at Texas, Alabama, USC, LSU,
Texas A&M,
Michigan.
Look how they used one really dynamic, polarizing quarterback.
Dominant in the past.
They built an incredible program around that one person who just took America by storm for 2 years. And
they were dominant. But I think what you're saying is, I think the issue is there can't be a monopoly, because I think my problem with it is it feels like if you want to be like a big school to get the best talent out there, you have to show it with the talent you have now. I think that's the issue, because say, for example, I don't know, J-Rob school, UConn. I don't know how well they're doing right now. I haven't really paid attention, but exactly. So with the talent wise, if you look at talent wise, the teams that are playing now with the talent that they currently have, kids are going to look at that and say, I want to go try to play there. But I don't think it's going to become this monopoly thing, because I think it's with the mix of the transfer portal where you have to sit out. I think that may can put limitations on some of it. But I think there's a lot of other factors that have to go into that before that we can discuss.
Let's talk to the national champion. Let's talk about how did UCF build from that incredible season that you guys had?
I mean, look at it.
That was the thing. Look at it now. Like, it's a big brand program. We weren't always like that. When I was there, we lost to J-Rob. You know what I'm saying? Like, we were losing.
No, it was like, can you tell them how bad it was that we made up a rivalry between our schools, bro? It was called the conflict.
It was
the conflict.
Like, bro, we went.
LSU fans were sick.
We went a whole season and lost every game. Like, we weren't getting no big name recruits from that. Like, what kind of big name recruits wants to go to the worst team in the country? You know, that's not how it works. But once we got, it really was just a perfect storm. We have Mackenzie Milton, who was baby Johnny Manziel for the time.
I remember that.
Griffin. Like, we had some NFL talent.
Shaquem Griffin is the best defensive player I ever seen live in my life.
I'm telling you.
With one hand.
Mike,
he was crazy in college.
Mike Hughes was locking up all these NFL receivers you see. Like,
shit, I was on the field with some of these boys. I seen it. I seen it up close and first.
Who recruited them? Who was the coach?
Coach O'Leary. No,
Coach O'Leary.
All of them. Now, Frost got Mackenzie Milton.
Okay.
But when you get one player, sometimes all it takes is one player. Like you say with Texas A&M. Johnny Manziel, when you think of Texas A&M, that's the first person I think of, Johnny Football. Like, all it takes is one player. Then you win, boom. Now you got this huge explosion. And now we're getting all these 4-star recruits. Like, it wasn't like Alabama, we just get these 5 stars off the jump. We got 2 stars, 3 stars that really went through the trenches, developed their game, got better. Like, that's what it takes to build programs. And that's really most programs in the country. We're talking about Bama, USC, there's 130 something Division I schools that people we just forget about. That guess what? If you're that 3-star kid, you might not be that top 300. You go to Mississippi State. They're not this big name program, but you play SEC football. You get to play Alabama. You get to play Georgia. You get to play LSU. Put out good tape.
Yeah, put out good tape, and they'll come.
And then they see that, and then they want you.
They're gonna come because they're gonna be like, "Oh man, this kid was torching us. Why not get him on our squad?" Like that's really how you build. I mean, that's how you build anything.
Yeah, those are good points, and I'm not discounting that. I guess my follow-up question to this, because building a program is obvious. Building the prestige, I understand that aspect. But when it comes to the monetary gain, we know that's definitive. Like, you got that highest dollar, he's going there. Like, prestige, it don't matter at that point. Highest dollar. So my question is, do you think there could be potential situations where there's that school that constantly gets the one player or couple players that always makes the most bucks, and then they can reinvest that to get the other player that also makes the most bucks?
Because it's too much parity. It's too many big programs, bro.
And the money difference, so
I don't know how the NIL kind of has caps on that.
Say you can go to USC.
Right now, it's still a free for all. Right now,
but
they don't.
Right now,
I know now. That's in the future. That's why I said the future.
I think
in the future, that might be the super conference is going to figure that out. But right now,
I think
I'm gonna give you this example right here. Say USC right now, next year, Caleb Williams leaves. Say Malachi gets hurt. They need a quarterback. If I'm a high school kid, I'm gonna be like, USC can give me $1 million. I start off the jump. Or Texas give me $1.5 million, but I gotta sit behind Arch Manning. Like, kids are gonna still wait, even though it's money. That's big money. You still gonna go to the situation you want to play. You're like, so even if Arkansas offer me $10 million, I'm going to play Arkansas. I don't know about y'all boys. Like, that's so. Like, yeah, the money could be an issue. Like, the money could be an issue, but not to the point where you just like they're not just throwing free money out at everybody to get everybody. Like, kids don't just choose 100% off of money. Like,
fact, it's more to it. Yeah, it's more to it. They still got to play.
The money gets my attention, but if I see I got three defensive tackles that's first round grade for the next junior, sophomore, freshman class, I'm not going. I don't care how much money you offer. You know what I'm saying? Like, because at the end of the day, I gotta play. That's what you're there for anyway, is to play.
And my question was,
go ahead.
My question was, do you think the NIL in the future, kind of in conjunction with Rodell's question, is it going to add more parity or less parity to the game of college football?
I actually think it adds a lot more parity. I think, honestly, whether people want to admit it or not, NIL in the transfer portal has evened the playing field the most I think it possibly could have, just because it's a bidding war now on players. This is why there's super conferences now, because this now I think the only thing that I gotta say that for sure NIL in the transfer portal did kill, especially because the ripple effect of it was the super conferences. There's not gonna be too many more out of conference games now. These conferences, you're not gonna like. That's why I keep saying Notre Dame needs to find a conference and find one soon, because nobody's gonna keep scheduling Notre Dame. Nobody's gonna schedule Notre Dame to risk an L when they still have to play. Like, if you're in the like if let's say you're in the new Big 12, right? You're in the new Big 10 now, the new Big 10, right? And let's say I'm Ohio State. Like, I don't think this might be the last year we play Notre Dame, because Tyson, I'm gonna put it in perspective. We see what Washington is becoming. So in a season, I can play Washington, Oregon, USC, UCLA, Michigan at the end of every single season. Penn State whiteout game. Michigan State. Like, that's eight really tough freaking games that I could play in 1 year. And my easy games, my cupcake game from Ohio State is Maryland and Rutgers. And bro, those.
So what does that do to the rest of the colleges, though, J-Rod?
But I'm saying that's why every conference is getting, like, the Big 12 is huge now too. They're not gonna have conference games. That's why the ACC is expanded. Like, most of these.
There was some teams left in the Pac-12 though. What was those teams?
Oh, so the two teams left are Oregon State and Washington State. Those teams. So what they're doing is because I read about it. They're pretty much deciding that us two teams, we the Pac-12. So we're going to decide the future of the conference, because they decided, like, all you other teams, so all you other teams, y'all already are out. So I don't get no say in what we do as a Pac-12. The best decision is for them to fold up or absorb the Mountain West And when you absorb the Mountain West, you bring in San Diego State, things of that nature. But I'm gonna give you a name of a team.
But they can't. Well, my point is, hold on, Jay, real quick. I got you. But my point is, with these super conferences, the Mountain West doesn't stand a chance.
Oh no, they will not be. They won't be considered a power. They won't be considered.
They won't
a power
be considered
the same
a power
way.
after these conferences.
That's what I'm saying, and they're done.
They're done.
And they're not going to be able to, and it makes it even worse because they're not going to be able to compete on an NIL level now.
No,
because they're not drawing
everywhere, Tyson.
But not the boosters. But Tyson, I'm gonna tell you where they're going to survive.
That's everywhere.
But Tyson, but fuck the boosters. This is where they're going to survive, Tyson.
Right.
The playoff got expanded to 12 teams.
Right.
So because it got expanded to 12 teams, that conference, just because they're considered Power 5 because of the name, they'll always at least be able to get 1 or 2 teams in that 12.
You think they're going to keep that?
Yeah.
Well, once it goes to 12, I mean, they'll be considered, if the Pac-12 lives, obviously to us, we'll know competition-wise, they're not the Power 5. They're Power 5. I got 2 teams, though. I got 2 names for you, though, that I think could change life for that conference in terms of competitiveness. I would call North Dakota State.
Okay.
I would say North Dakota State, you have been the Alabama of the SCS for the last 20 plus years. You've put out numerous pieces of talent into the NFL. You've had first round draft picks. You have beat teams like Iowa. No FBS program ever wants to face you because they always lose to you guys. Why not come and take on the challenge and come to the
Did
pack?
they hang like 50 on Arizona?
Yes.
They
put
55 on Arizona.
Yes, they put 55 on Arizona. So if you take that team, you put a strong program because everybody respects that program as a power. You put them in, then I will go get South Dakota State, the Jackrabbits, because those 2 brands, you will be able to take those Dakotas. And I know those places don't seem fancy now, but what does
strong fan bases?
What do sports do for cities? They grow your city. Think about how much money Boulder, Colorado is making right now because just the state of Colorado is making.
That's different though. This is unheard of.
No, it's unheard. But I'm saying you put in North Dakota State and South Dakota State in the Pac-12, and I'm gonna be real with you right now, Tyson. If North Dakota State go to the Pac-12, they could win it first year. They could win it.
Are they competing with any of these other schools?
Yes,
they're very good programs.
Quick thing though.
Yes.
Not to get too far off the subject though, but just with the NIL deal. College football going to big, so I'll just break it down quick for you. Once upon a time, before all the NIL deals, and this is y'all make me go against my own team, but this is just how I can reference it because I'm just so diehard with it. And everybody that played college football, y'all can attest to this. Alabama, so all of these schools, whether I don't know if people knew this, these schools have recruiting funds or recruiting dollars.
Yes.
Before the NIL deal, they had recruiting dollars. So one thing about if you Alabama, Georgia, Texas, you're gonna have a lot more recruiting dollars or recruiting funds than the UCF or
100%
or some of these other schools. So what the NIL deal did was now I can use boosters or people that live within the community that support my school, UCF or whatever the case may be, a local business owner. Now he can pitch and be like, hey, if this kid comes to UCF, we got $1.2 million for him throughout the course of 4 years or however they structure the NIL deal. But a local business owner in Orlando can be like, hey, if you can get this kid to come to UCF, and since I graduated from UCF, if you could get here, come here, we got this money we're going to put aside for you. So now the big schools that y'all see, the Alabama, the Clemsons, oh shit, that's neutraling out the playing field. We don't like that. So what we finna do? We finna make a super conference now. So now when these kids going to decide this stuff, like, yeah, you can go to a Colorado State. Yeah, they do got $1.2 million for you. But guess what? They ain't in the conference what we in. This conference, I get to automatically. You want to play for a championship too, young man, because that's what Nick Saban do. Nick Saban say he come up in your house with all the rings on, all the championships he done won, with the jackets and all of that. So as a kid, yeah, like you right. Okay, they offering 1.2 million over here, but Alabama offering 500,000, and I get to go play for a championship. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm gonna make that choice right there.
TV every week.
On TV every week, facilities better, everything better.
We in the new Super SEC. We in the Super Big Ten. We in the Super Pac-12. You know what I'm saying? We in these super conferences. They make it sound good. So now they trying to figure out a way. Like, okay, NIL even it out. How can we get it back in our favor? Oh, let's make a super conference. And if you're not in the super conference, yeah. And the thing is, with the super conferences, all the teams got to vote for you to be in the conference, which is weird, which makes me think that now your teams like your Nevadas and your Colorado States, they finna be shit out of luck because
That's what I'm saying.
if we gotta vote you in our conference, who's to say that if I'm a Texas A&M, I'm an Arkansas, I'm an Alabama, I'm an LSU, who's to say if I just don't go to all the ADs and be like, hey man, don't vote Colorado up in our conference? You see how you see how I get real tricky.
They do
really make it a club, but you know it. They do it. Like,
well, I got a quick question. Bama, hold on 1 second. So Grant, I know you're big into like soccer, right? Obviously. So when they try to make that super conference for those big soccer teams in Europe, I know a big thing, the fans immediately revolted against it. But what was some of the main reasons why that super conference folded? Because when I hear the word super conference, I think about that and I'm like, I don't know how I would feel about that in college football. Because Tyson, there is something to, man, if I'm in Nevada and if I'm good enough, if I'm in Nevada, maybe we'd have that one season, you know, that one team just has where they're 10-0, but they're not really. Right. I'm worried that they're gonna get left out.
So for people who don't understand, I'll give context real quick. A few years ago, so there's a board in Europe called the UEFA, right? And they have a big tournament every year called the UEFA Champions League, where it's all the clubs in Europe compete in this huge tournament, and the winner is champion of Europe, right? And it's pretty big because that's most competitive. So a few years ago, a guy named Florentino Perez, who's the head of one of the biggest clubs in the world, Real Madrid, tried to form this idea of a super league where basically the big clubs in Europe, they would leave the Champions League format and they would all join and play each other. And it would be like group stages, same exact thing in the format. And then they would have a playoff and then they would have, a final, same thing. The biggest issue with that at the time was it killed the competition because then smaller clubs that are in these different countries who can qualify for this tournament, who aren't going to be able to qualify. So if you have, the difficulty is the teams will stay the same, and then there will be like maybe one or two teams, depending on how they play, they go out, but they come back in depending on your schedule. But the issue is it was harder because there was no competition. It's just you're playing the same guys every single year, and we can't see, the upsets and, the comebacks and everything that makes the game special. And with the Super League, the reason why fans revolted is because they didn't want to sacrifice the competition. Because with soccer, example, with college football, Michigan and Ohio State, that, it's a once a year game. And every time we see it, like, imagine having to only just play those guys like 3 times, like a season. That would kill the vibe of like the excitement around it. And so
the stakes, but I'm rocking with it because the stakes is higher though. Like I don't really need to see Alabama play Oklahoma to start the year. Y'all gonna see each other in the playoffs where it matters most, right? That's
it. Just
really dominant teams.
Yeah. It just really killed.
You're saying, J-Rob, you're just okay with that kind of competition just being.
Yo, bro, why would I not be, bro? The Big Ten, I get Oregon, USC, I get Oregon, Ohio State, I get Michigan.
You get USC versus Ohio State.
I get UCLA, bro. I got UCLA, Washington. I get Washington. Like, bro, these super conferences lit. Like,
yeah, but to me, it's like more like an NFL vibe, bro. We getting like into an NFL type system, and that's taken away from what college football was.
But Tyson, they semi-pro athletes, though. Let's be honest.
No, I'm not disputing that, but college, I'm saying the product was different, bro. The product, you know what I'm saying? It was a different. I'm competing in my conference against, like, the big game was USC and UCLA. You feel me? The big games, and now it's different. Now the big game is USC and Oregon State. Like, it don't have the same college vibe. It don't have the same amateurism to it. You feel me?
But UCLA and USC still going to keep the rivalry. They're going together to the Big Ten.
No, I understand that. I'm just saying, but that's not the. It's different.
It's together because you still get the Red River Showdown. You know what I'm saying?
I got you. I'm just saying it's a different vibe, though, J-Rod. You got to feel me when the big game. The big game is not UCLA no more. You know what I'm saying? It's a different vibe. It's more of an NFL vibe where the best. You know what I'm saying? It's just juggernauts and these. You know what I'm saying? I think some of the smaller schools lose a lot of their.
But based on what y'all are saying, it sounds like the smaller colleges are going to be completely weeded out.
They're screwed.
Oh yeah.
That's what I was saying. They're trying to defend it. No, they does.
No, I can't defend that. I can't defend that.
I can't defend that either.
Take all of this
Go ahead.
out. Say you take all of this out. The past 10, 15 years, the small colleges were weeded out. And I was at a small college. Like, you know what I'm saying? And guess what? People still love college football when Bama's dominating, when there's no NIL, there's no transfer portal. Bama's still dominating. LSU dominating. Ohio State dominating. Even if you spread it out and make all these super conferences, realistically, these kids are still going to go to a lot of these same schools. It's just now they're not getting loaded with it. Realistically. Like, for history, it's been like this.
No, I didn't like that. The mid majors were, but the thing is though, Tyson, I'm gonna be honest. Like, I don't know why people feel bad for the small schools now because, and I'm not saying you're talking, I'm speaking in general. Because they didn't care about them before. Like, like Cincinnati, Cincinnati had to be dominant for 2 years, play Georgia to a 7-point game or 3-point game, and then had to beat Notre Dame the year after. Not just beat them though, Tyson. They could have won by 3. They had to beat them by 12. They had to beat them soundly
just to get up in the. Yeah, I got you.
So they ain't never rock with them. And then Trey, he played on a team that beat every team by 50. They played 2 games that were close. The game against UCF, which was one of the best games of the year that year, and then the game they played against Memphis, which was also one of the best games of the year that year. And not only were those two, both the teams they played, because it was Memphis and USF. Memphis and USF were good as hell that year.
Memphis we were the number 1 ranked offense in the country. Memphis,
y'all's offense was one of the best.
USF was top 10.
These are teams that were dominant, but because they were in the American Athletic, That's why. But you got to look at it like this: UCF, Tyson, they took their momentum from being great. Cincinnati took their momentum in being great, and they did what Boise State should have been did.
Exactly.
Good Lord. You know what I'm saying? Because listen, what did the UCF do? They capitalized off their dominance and said we want to go to the Big 12.
Right.
Cincinnati capitalized off that, really capitalized off a 3-year run of success and parlayed that to the Big 12. And now UCF and Cincinnati will be able to recruit good players always, and they'll always be in contention for a playoff spot because of the fact that they're in a major conference. You know what I'm saying?
I got another question for y'all.
So like Boise State should have went to the Pac-12 and they had the chance.
Exactly.
And now Tyson is sick now because they're probably going to go.
They had 2 chances to do it too.
They're going to go to the Pac-12. And
we forget that they beat Oklahoma in the Fiesta Bowl at a time where Oklahoma at one point had one of the best defenses in the country, and they went in there
as well. Don't
that offense went out there and Boise. Everyone in that game had Boise State losing that game by 30 because they didn't think they were going to get anything on the ball, and they went in there and pulled off one of the greatest Fiesta Bowls, in my opinion.
You can watch that game on YouTube right now.
It's crazy how they played in that game. Is one of the most ridiculous things because everyone thought they were going to get stomped out, and they went down.
I've ever seen a successful hook and ladder in my life.
So I
was on the field watching the receiver just throw that bitch on the ground. Me punching the air on the other side of the field.
My next question is: do y'all think there could be a lopsided in terms of exposure and viewership because all the best teams are playing each other? So why am I going to watch?
I think to fans
they're
going
to get the most exposure, and by that they're going to get more money.
I think to the fans, let's say this, but I think we also have to understand something about college football. For the best, it's a vehicle to get to the next level. It's a vehicle. So if you're good, you can play at North Dakota State. You can play at Southwest Missouri State. If you're good, they will come get you. There are dudes on every NFL staff that coach just said, go find that motherfucker. I don't know where he at. I want that motherfucker. I'm gonna get him in the 6th round. He's gonna start, and we're gonna be like, I can't believe they forgot this guy. We see that every year. So if you're good enough, they will find you. For fans don't care about Southwest Missouri State. They don't. So they want to see. They want to see
only the fans of Southwest Missouri State.
Yeah, only those fans care.
Yeah, they only
those fans care.
So that's what I'm saying. They get less national exposure because those games are not going to be. Nobody cares about them, so they're not going to get.
I mean, that's kind of the same way.
The NFL evaluators.
It's kind of the same way it is now. Because if you think about it, like these big games that are on, they get way more exposure than like the only time where I've seen like a game get like a small school get really big exposure a few times is when game day went to North Dakota State and when they played South Dakota State, and then when they went to Appalachian State when they were on that undefeated run. So I think they still will get exposure, but I think it's not going. I think with the conferences, and I think you have to understand.
No, that's not true, bro. Because J-Rob just said those games that you're talking about, them out of conference games, are going to be no longer. You know what I'm saying? We're not seeing.
The out of conference is done. But I
Yeah,
understand
out of conference is done.
So they not North Dakota's not getting the Alabama game or whatever game they used to get.
I'm not saying
you can still go to see. Mind you, the reason why they decided to go to those programs is because of how dominant they were. So if there is a school that
wait,
dominating
what?
like
One more
that,
time.
The reason why game day decided to go to North Dakota State was because they were dominant. We were finally the casual fans were finally starting to learn about them. They were talking about them. So ESPN was like, let's capitalize on this. We got a week where we don't really have a good Power 5 or maybe Power 5.
But there is gonna be a good one. That's the point.
Tyson, let me finish.
Go ahead.
Okay. Obviously, it may be different. Maybe there is nothing that's titillating when the Super Conference. Maybe they're just for some reason, just how it works out. Oh, the best game is like. The best game just doesn't hit the national zeitgeist the way it does. You can still go to a program like North Dakota State and highlight them for a week because you're going to draw more fans that week. Now you're asking for more.
I understand what you're saying, but I think the point is that when you have these huge super conferences, it's going to be more of the nationally televised game. It's gonna be like I said, it's gonna be an NFL type vibe. It's gonna be great teams going up against great teams all the damn time.
But that's what the general fan wants.
That's what the general fan
wants.
No,
I agree with that, but he's saying that the Appalachian states are still gonna get the same love, and I disagree with that.
No, I'm not saying. Hold up, I'm not saying they're gonna get the same love.
That's what you said. You said ESPN is still gonna go, and they're still gonna.
I was trying to say they're not going to give them the same amount of recognition as they do now, because now I think the conference is changing. And
but I think Randall was disputing that.
I was because I'm still saying even at some point in the Super Conference, there's going to be a time. They call me young, J-Rob. Y'all just know there's just going to be that 1 week where I'm like, this is the best that we have. It just happened.
Oh, it's good.
It just happens, and that's the time. That's the time where ESPN's like, let's
go
to North Dakota
State.
State.
We'll see.
Let's go to North Dakota State.
It just depends.
It just happens. Just the way
but you
happens.
gotta understand college game day. But hold on, let's put context to that. College game day only show up to these schools once they do something worth showing up to.
Exactly.
Don't get that confused. UCF came. They came. They had to be playing a good team, but college game day went to UCF. But why? Because UCF was dominant. They won the best team in the post. Yeah, we won a 20-game win streak. Like they were doing something unprecedented. So it was different. It's different. Like Colorado was the biggest thing in the world. College game day couldn't be bothered with Boulder, Colorado a year ago.
Not at all.
Now in 1 year, bro, y'all understand Colorado versus Colorado State was the highest viewed college football game of all time.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Of all time.
Oh, let me look that up. Y'all go ahead.
That is nuts.
You gotta understand. This is what makes it crazier, guys. The game ended at 2:30 a.m. on the East Coast. That was up to
nuts.
Yeah, I fell asleep.
And we were up watching it because that game delivered.
The game delivered. But my other thing is this: like, there is hella parity in college sports now. I'm cool with the mega conferences because the playoff got expanded. And some of these bigger schools need to kind of knock each other off anyway to make sure there's some sort of versatility in those top 12 schools. I do think it does change the game, Tyson. Like I do hate that all the out of conference scheduling is completely eradicated. But as somebody who, if I was a head coach, I kind of want it to be eradicated because I got to play 10 other hard games this year. And
100%.
I got to go on. I got to go. And if I'm at Washington or Oregon next year, I'm going to have to fly across country to either Jersey or to Maryland. And then I'm flying cross country to Chicago and all these other schools. Like there's only 4 teams on the West Coast. Every other team is Midwest and further. So every flight is at least 4 to 6 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot. So I'm cool.
That's what I said.
I'm cool with it, but I do understand it does change the dynamic.
Yeah, it's gonna be some casualties and anything change. You know what I'm saying? Pros and cons, but at the end of the day, I think it's gonna be a good product for the fans, man. Everybody's still gonna be rocking with it, and I would just point it out to me that some of the cons were to it. You know what I'm saying?
There are some cons. But Tyson, you know what I think the biggest con about it was? I don't think I brought this up. I don't think you show when we talk about it. But I say the biggest con to me about the whole landscape change in college sports has been, honestly, Trey, you would notice I feel bad for the Olympic sports that play on
Exactly.
the track team, you
Football,
know,
crazy.
diving, swimming, yeah, all like because you got on because football, basketball, like shit. I ain't never know nothing but a charter in college. Yeah, like I got on it. I flew private every game. We didn't go to an airport, but you got to think like this: a fall sport like soccer, right? The Central Florida soccer team. Thanksgiving Eve had to go to New Jersey, University of Washington. I mean, let me use this example. University of Washington soccer team has to fly to New Jersey to play Rutgers in a soccer match, maybe a few days before Thanksgiving.
That's nasty.
And then you got to go to class at 7 midweek. Got to go to class at 7 in the morning.
It shouldn't even apply to those other sports, bro. It should be like a football exception, and you know what I'm saying, big sport, because it shouldn't even apply to fucking.
Everybody, but I think they gotta put your money, but they gotta use. But you have a school plane, and y'all have hella money. Y'all bringing in every student on 4 years is a guaranteed 200,000 minimum. So my thing, Tyson, is why haven't y'all put in more money into getting another plane? Like there needs to be
because we're not losing money.
Yeah,
We're not
We're not losing money on no motherfucking soccer team. We're not losing money on no damn. These motherfuckers gotta pay their way, bro.
But Tyson, how much money you bringing in from other programs? Is it
no? That's facts. I agree with you, but I'm just saying, as a college, as the dean, as whatever. Wait. You telling me?
I'm asking you though. My question is, do you think it's a loss? Like to me, I don't think it's a loss.
No, it's still a gain. I understand it's a gain in totality, but you telling me that I'm forking out all this money on the college softball team? Nah, bruh. As the dean, as the motherfucker that manages money, I'm not forking out for all these different sports and lose money just because football is making money. We're not doing that.
Yeah, but still, I'm just saying though, the college. I'm talking about. I understand that point. It's business, but for me, nobody considered that student athletes, bro. And that's my only thing because I just feel like, bro. Like,
I agree.
I was tired. I used to be tired. Remember, we played BYU, so Connecticut to BYU. Ooh. It's a long flight, high altitude. It's Middle Earth America, and then it was a Thursday game. So Friday, Tyson, I got to still go to class. We
100%.
land at the airport at 3 a.m. But the thing is, I got on a really nice airplane that was chartered. Great seats. My shit go all the way back. I'm getting sleep.
Feet up.
You know, feet up. There's a lady who giving you snacks and shit. It's a vibe. You got Chick-fil-A on the plane. So it's comfortable. Even though I'm tired, I'm kind of rested and I could get to class on time. It's not a problem. But them other kids, you just was on there's probably this cramped ass, red eye, and there's a baby crying. There's
that's nasty.
Food. You probably didn't get food. Y'all probably eating. It is not
peanuts and shit.
So that's my only thing, Tyson. Like I didn't. The adults in the room ain't thinking about the kids. They only thought about the money. And I just feel like some of these programs definitely like Nebraska volleyball. How you not putting them in an airplane, Tyson? They broke the record for most.
They
sold out. They sold out the
for
stadium
a women's football match, a women's volleyball match.
More than the football team. How you can't put them on a plane? You know what I'm saying? Like, how could I not put them on a plane?
Because it ain't no TV money, bruh.
No, Tyson.
But they selling out games.
It ain't no TV. That don't compare to no TV paper.
Tyson, I mean, they're making all this money, but then all of a sudden LSU getting a new locker room every 2 years. Like you're not spending.
No, I'm agreeing with y'all. I'm not this. I'm just saying what the AD and the dean and them is saying. I'm not agreeing. I agree. They should all get love.
You opened up the door like that. Opened up the door. I'll be honest. That's why I was always, and I'm still kind of like in 50-50 with the NIL. I wasn't always. I'm be honest. I wasn't very sure when it initially got introduced. Now, do I think that the NCAA and colleges should take advantage of athletes' names? No. But just like what J-Rob said, in terms of the student athletes and just students in general, the dynamic moving forward is going to change even more so than it never has been. So
I agree.
It's going to be something.
I was saying pay the kids and deal with the consequences because they deserve it. I didn't exactly know what them consequences was going to be, but like y'all said, like J-Rob was saying earlier, when Adidas and Nike is making $40 million off my jersey, bro, and I'm not seeing nothing, that's just problematic. So whatever the
Also,
consequences
you gotta
was,
remember, just
I
'cause
was
we don't
good with
know-
the consequences.
Yeah,
You
also,
feel
you
me?
gotta
Yeah, like,
Because
I ain't
cats
gonna lie,
deserve
like,
that.
I gotta admit, hold on, Grant, you can move to the next topic, but Tyson, I do admit, like, I wasn't really bad at Johnny Manziel for signing them jerseys and footballs and hats.
No,
Like, what?
Yeah,
Like, you couldn't have told me at 20 years old.
No facts.
You couldn't have told me at 20 years old Adidas made 40 million. I didn't see not a royalty. Not
And
a
then
royalty.
a dude come up and say, "Hey, here's $10,000 to sign these footballs."
Yeah,
I'm signing all these footballs.
I'm
Yeah,
signing,
that's
bro.
tough, man. They held them kids to a standard that was crazy for way too long, bro. Way too long.
Way too long. Like Johnny, like I ain't gonna lie, Reggie Bush
Shit was modern day slavery.
Yeah, it was. Reggie Bush should have been a millionaire before he even got to the NFL. Go ahead, Grant.
Facts.
Facts.
Good Lord,
A household name, bro.
Debo, all
Debo, same thing. So this week for college football fans, for those of you who don't know, we actually got a solid week of games coming up, and I put together a list of some of those games, and I also want to talk about it. Y'all give me y'all's predictions, what y'all think the game's gonna be like, etc. And y'all just tell me what y'all want. So for this first game, I'll start with the big one. Ohio State, number 6, is going to South Bend to play in Notre Dame. It's a big game. Game day's going. This is something that I think Notre Dame fans really think they can actually win. And as a Notre Dame fan myself, I think this is one of the best teams we've had in a while. And the way we've played these past few games.
What was the first game? I bet.
Ohio State, Notre Dame. I just went ahead and took the big one out the way. So what are y'all thoughts on that game?
Obviously, early playoff implications. I think obviously huge early playoff implications for Notre Dame, in my opinion, because I think if Ohio State can still lose this game, Michigan takes care of their light work. They may at the end of the year, Ohio State win that game. Ohio State has another chance to enter the playoffs. So big game for Notre Dame. I haven't watched as much Notre Dame as anybody else, but from the amount I've seen, I'm impressed with the team. It's just that I got to get over all that other time that you saw Notre Dame be good. And I'm sitting there like, once they get in the playoff, what are they really going to do except blown out? So let's give them a chance. They got a good squad. They got a good quarterback.
I'm going to be honest. As the resident Ohio State fan, I'm taking my Buckeyes. I think this will be the perfect test for them. Realistically, I think this is a good test for Kyle McCord to see if he's something or not. This is going to be a good Notre Dame team. I do think they have the edge at the quarterback position. Sam Hartman, I do think, is the better quarterback, but I think we have the better team and we have the better group of weapons. So ultimately, we definitely win the talent battle. And so I'm going to give us the slight nod, but I will say this game right here, this is 100% Notre Dame's playoff hopes right here. In this game.
Yep. I'm with you, J-Rob. I think this Ohio State team, again, they still got to play Penn State, who looks nice. They still got to play Michigan, who looks good. Like, they can lose this game and still get a little fighting chance. Notre Dame, they can't have no mishap. This is it. This is they want to get to the playoff or get a chance. This is the playoff game right here. So,
oh, good Lord. I'm looking at
Ohio.
Yeah. Oh, they got USC. Never mind.
No, let them finish. Let them finish.
My bad.
Yeah, I think Ohio State. Again, like you said, I think Kyle McCord. Can you lead us to the national championship? Because that's realistically the goal. Can you lead us to the national championship? We're gonna know a little bit this week. If you can't beat Notre Dame, you're probably not beating Michigan realistically. You're probably not beating Penn State the way they're looking. Right. And even if you do, you're probably not winning the national championship against, say, a USC. Colorado sneak in there, a Georgia get back. So like, I think we're gonna see a lot. We're gonna learn a lot from this game. I think Ohio State's gonna win out because I think there's too much talent at the receiver position. If they give them time to throw, it's gonna be a problem.
Right.
And one quick point before y'all forget, with this, I don't think this is the only game for us because we still have to play USC too. So I think
they're at USC too.
Yeah,
they're at USC. No, they're hosting USC.
No, they're in South Bend.
Yeah,
so that's another big game the Irish have to win in order to be able to contend. So for me, I'm a Notre Dame fan, obviously. My sister's up there. It's her senior year. My parents are up there. They're going to go to the game this weekend.
Dope.
This is probably the toughest game, one of the toughest games we're going to have to play this year. This is a game where this is for us. This shows is this team different from last year, for the last few years? Or is this a team that's just going to fall apart under pressure? Because last year, everyone thought we were going to get blown out in the horseshoe. And we actually, even though we got beat by a size margin, we played a solid game. I think Marcus Freeman has this team in a good mindset. Sam Hartman's playing well. This offense looks solid. I think this game is going to be very, very close. I have Notre Dame winning this one 24-21. I think it's going to be a close game. I think this game will go down to the wire, and it's going to be who can get the ball next.
So, quick question then: can Notre Dame lose one of these?
No, fuck no. They have to go undefeated, bro. Because no, they have to.
Yeah,
win
they
out,
record.
bro.
They record. I mean,
I'm gonna tell you right now.
Their schedule don't allow them to.
They schedule do not go. First of all, I keep saying they don't play a championship game. They don't win a conference.
That is tough.
Right.
So you're gonna tell me this? They don't beat Ohio State. Now I understand Duke beat Clemson, but Clemson is trash. So I'm supposed to look. If I'm in the committee, I got to look at them losing Ohio State, but they beat Duke, and Duke's ranked 18. So, oh my God, no. They're gonna beat Louisville, who ain't shit. They're gonna lose to USC without question. So you got to play Pitt, Clemson, Wake Forest, and Stanford. Like I don't.
No, my question was, what if they lose this week, but then they beat USC? Do they have a chance?
I don't know. I think it depends on
USC.
The only reason why I say. It depends on USC, and plus you'll have to understand Notre Dame is not in a conference, so that kind of really hampers it too, because
that's the problem.
They don't have to play in a conference championship like these other teams, so that can probably affect it too.
You have one less chance to impress the committee.
Yeah,
I got just real quick thing. I'm about to go. Got to pick up the kids, but I got one question. If Jeff Shamarja chose football, how good of a receiver would he have been?
If who?
Jeff Shamarja, the wide receiver from Notre Dame. I don't remember him.
Okay.
If he chose football, I think he could have been top. If that guy could, I understand the reasons, but if he chose football, I think he could have been a top 5 Notre Dame receiver with the talent that man had. With the talent that man had, like the raw talent that I saw from him, he could have been a top 5 Notre Dame wide receiver in my eyes.
Hey, I'm gone on that note. Appreciate y'all, bro.
All right. So the next one I got, this probably isn't a big one right now. Florida State is playing Clemson in Death Valley. I know we all think Clemson sucks, but the one thing I've never, ever doubted is I think they're going to pack out Death Valley for this game. I think Florida State will still win, but I think this is going to be a very, very tough game for the Seminoles because Death Valley is, regardless of the team, it's a very hard environment to play in. But I got Florida State winning this one still because I think Florida State have to continue to dominate and play well.
I mean, I don't know the health around what's his name, Jordan Travis. If he's healthy, I think they blow Clemson out probably by 14. If he has any kind of shoulder issue, I don't know what is really in because he came back in the game and he threw it around, but that could be adrenaline. Once he get a little bit sore the next week. I don't know what his injury status is. If he's injured a little bit, nicked up, gets banged up again, then you could probably be in a dogfight in Clemson. Right. Especially, I don't know what time they play. If they play in a night game, it really can get rowdy there.
They play in the morning.
Okay.
It's a noon kickoff. It's a noon kickoff.
If he's healthy, I think they win by 14. But I think it's a talent gap, to be honest. Like we talked about Dabo earlier, he's not recruiting at that level when he was winning national championship. The quarterback's not at the level when he was winning national championship. The receivers aren't the only really guy is Shipley, who I think he's a good player, but he's not. I don't think he's good enough to beat Florida State by himself. So I think that's that game. I think Florida State will win, especially if Jordan Travis is healthy.
Yeah, I'm definitely taking Florida State. I think they're just flat out the better team, have the better talent. Let's be real about that Clemson team. They're just not that talented, bro. Yep. Like they don't have the same level of recruits that they've had. If you just look at that team, Florida State looks like they can compete with anybody in country. I understand it was a close game against Boston College, but listen, if you can't tell me you're not a real college football fan if you don't know every single year somebody has a dogfight with a bad team or a team they shouldn't be playing with. And you also know, and I'm going to put this out there right now for those who keep talking about Colorado and Colorado State being close. That was Colorado State's national championship, that game. Do y'all understand? Mm-hmm. We have seen multiple times. Now you could laugh, but I can tell you multiple instances in college football history where the rivalry game, one side is undefeated or one loss, and the other team got 6 or 7 wins, and they end up beating their rival because you get up differently for your rival because the records don't matter. It is your bitter foe, and you want to win this game more than anything, and that's just how it goes. And that happens for a team like Boston College. Like they always play.
They always play Florida State good.
Yeah, they always play a good team close. They always play Florida State close because they don't like Florida State. Boston College, Florida State, they're not really rivals, but they don't get along. Neither programs like each other. So that shit happens. I'm not losing that. But I'm not saying Colorado's a playoff contender. I didn't say that. I never have. So no, I'm not jacking. Go ahead, Grant. What's the next game that we got on the list?
Riddell, you got a prediction? What you got? Who you got? Florida State, Clemson.
I mean, from what I know, I'm gonna go Florida State because what I've seen, Clemson didn't look good. You know, I wasn't here back in the day when Clemson was good with T-Law and all that. So from my initial impression, I'm like, bro, this team's a fraud. Not gonna lie.
It is. They are frauds.
Did you pick Ohio State, Notre Dame yet? Did you pick that, Riddell?
As a new Ohio State fan, I'm gonna go
Ohio State. J-Rob done recruited him.
But I will say,
I'm out here recruiting, man.
I agree with what J-Rob said, and I agree with what Trey said. This is time for McCord to show something, honestly. So I'm locked in because Marvin Harrison and McCord.
Because we need him to be good in order to get, and like he has to play good for us to be. Yeah, like we need him to do something.
Yeah. So if he does something now, I can have more hope because I was very, very low, especially after game one. So
right. So speaking of Colorado, like J-Rob said, I'm gonna get into this one. Colorado has their first big test. They're going into Eugene, Oregon, to play the Ducks. The loss of Travis Hunter and with the liver laceration was a huge blow to the defense. Prayers up for Travis as well, because that's got to be something very difficult for happening. I think this game changes a lot because earlier I said if they were able, that Colorado State game was a good game, but with Travis Hunter gone and Random me and Random had this conversation. I said that we have to believe, but he said that it was going to be harder.
It's harder
for this defense to be able to play.
The ball.
And for me, in my eyes, I think losing Travis Hunter is a huge blow to this Colorado team. But in my eyes right now, I don't know. This is probably going to be the craziest thing I've said ever.
Say that shit.
I think Colorado right now, with the way Dion has motivated this team, they're going to be able to still play the solid same game the way they've been playing without Hunter, even though it's a big blow. And I think in a close one, Colorado gets it done on the road and shocks the world. I think they can do it very, very. I think it's going to be a 2-1 point game, and I think it's going to be an offensive game because the only way I see them being able to stop Bo Nix is they got to stop that pass game, or that defense won't be able to stop it. And I think this is going to be a big test for Colorado because now that the hype has all been here and everything, this is the game where they have to say, this is the challenge. Can y'all live up to the hype? And I think Colorado can, and they're going to prove it. I have them in a close game by 1 point.
I got him by a field goal. Will Mata from JSU, 3 points for the rest of his life to knock off the Oregon Ducks. I'm up here with my shades and my hat on because that's what we're about this year. We sitting around with our shades and our hats on all year long because I'm sticking beside them. And Random, you might as well put your shit on because if you say Oregon, you have to leave the wave. So you don't even. I'm just letting you know right now. You see, I didn't have to say nothing to Grant. Grant already knew what he had to say. We here or we nowhere. So if you try to come up here and talk about I'm not halfway in. I'm not 1 foot in, 1 foot out. I'm all the way in this shit. So I'll come up here and I'm gonna say we're gonna beat Oregon by 1, go about 3, go Buffs. It's gonna be a close game. I think we'll finally see Cormani McClain come into action this game. I think Cormani plays. McCall, I think he finally comes out to play. And there's going to be some new guys that's going to turn your head for this Colorado team because there's some guys who have been dealing with injuries on the roster who haven't played yet. And listen, after I saw Oregon versus Texas Tech, just as long as the way the Buffaloes got some holes, they got some holes. And I think the best thing about it is Oregon probably going there thinking they about to bust these boys up. And honestly, when it comes to the quarterback position, the edge goes to the Buffaloes.
This was the part. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Meek.
Can we be serious for a minute? Like, Shedeur, wait. Shedeur might be better than Bo Nix, but come on, bro. They gonna beat Oregon. What about all the
people said they couldn't beat US. People said they couldn't beat.
Bro, they said we was gonna. They came up here week 1 and said it was getting blown out by TCU. They said
they were 20 point.
There was 20.5 point underdogs.
There were 20.5 underdogs going into the game, and they beat them.
They came in, bro. They came before the game.
They were in the national championship. They lost half their roster.
Me, Grant, and Random literally was up here when Bros was up here telling us they didn't know if they could beat Nebraska. did not know if they were going to get blown out by TCU.
Those are casual.
But why? But the thing is, why is everybody singing a different tune? Nobody would be talking about who they lost to the national championship if TCU would have won. Nobody wouldn't even be saying that. And Meek, you shouldn't even be acting like that because you over here, you seem to me like you love a good morality win. Because the Giants had one of the biggest morality wins I ever seen, and you was up here.
Against the team that is mastering the tank.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Colorado and the Giants have the same type of win. Not gonna lie.
They getting Caleb at all costs, bro.
All of this and that just to go out on Thursday to lose by 25.
Who they play? The 49ers?
My bad. Go ahead. Talk about Colorado. My bad. I ain't supposed to do that. My bad.
I'm just saying, bro. Their defense is non-existent. Those big third down plays where you need a guy like Travis, who is going to take that role?
But let me ask you this question: what team in the nation is top 3 in takeaways right now? Defense in the nation.
Can they get a stop when it matters?
They do. Listen.
Hold
on. But let me ask. Hold on. But they have. But listen, I understand they give up a lot of points, but bro, they also
that's the thing.
But they take the rock away, bro. They have a turnover every game. They make a big play defensively every game because they have a decent secondary. Their flaw is, I think, in that inside pass rush. They need a better inside pass rush for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, and what makes you Texas Tech was having their way with Oregon's defense. Oregon,
I was about to say
like this is my thing about the PAC. Even though I'm saying the PAC is the new SEC, I'm only saying it's the new SEC because there's hella good offenses, bro. Every game could be a shootout game. Every game in that conference might be 45-50, 50-38. Like, that's going to be the conference this year because there's too much offensive firepower in the conference. But there ain't a lot of defensive firepower in the conference. Come on. Best defense is over at Utah. That's the best one, probably. It's probably the best defense.
So how y'all feel about them against USC then? Since we saying this about Oregon,
we're gonna get to that later. We'll get that.
All right. I already tell you how I feel about that. I can tell you how I feel about the BET Wars going to bowl.
You better not
get behind that later.
This was the part of their schedule everybody was paying attention to anyway, right? Oregon, USC. Now, like Grant said, we were talking a lot about how big I think their Travis Hunter being out is. It's not the fact that he's on offense. They got enough weapons on offense. They can mitigate that. It's on defense for me. Everything in my mind since we talked, Grant, is telling me just pick Oregon and just hate yourself for a week. But I can't do it. I can't do it.
Yeah,
I gotta ride with the Reverend. I gotta
ride with the. Do you know the Reverend?
Yeah,
do you ride with the Reverend, man?
I gotta ride with Reverend. I gotta cuss out Jason Whitlock. I got to cuss out all them mugs that was talking mess. And I'm saying this, the way Colorado, I think they got to start off hot early, jump on them. Maybe all of a sudden, if they come in like
get Weaver over top early. Take a shot with number 10. That boy Weaver getting drafted, y'all. I hope y'all really watching. I know Jimmy Horn was that boy Weaver is nice.
Especially if Oregon come in the way J-Rob's saying, oh, Travis Hunter ain't playing. Oh, we about to wax them. You come out early, punch him in the mouth, and all of a sudden Oregon's like, why are we always down 3 or 7? And they got to keep fighting back like that. And I tell you, the best coaches,
Brady mode.
Yeah, the best coaches are able to impart their personality on their team. And
I don't think Oregon's looking at this like an easy dub.
Meek. Nobody's saying it's an easy dub. Nobody said that at all. But once that Colorado team starts feeling good and start playing good, what they do? They start making plays all over the field. And I'm telling you, they jump on them early. They doing it. And then we get to the BT Awards the next week.
And then we have the BT Awards next week. Everybody's at that game. Everybody's at that game.
Carson Palmer gonna make
everybody's at the game on both sidelines. Everybody from USC going. Everybody's at that game. Amon-Ra St. Brown might slide, bro. Everybody be that serious.
He might have to stop TikToking for once to go to that game. What are we talking about?
All the USC players in the league might take the PJ just to go for the day type shit. It's gonna be.
Oh my god, bro.
All right, is that everyone? Everyone got something else to say?
Riddell got
Hey, I think I don't want to
be real. Be real. Be real.
Because I think he's taking that program where it needs to be. I just think I'm not even worried about defense. Let's put that out there. When I saw what Oregon did with Texas Tech, if they come out like that, Colorado will go in there and win. Like that. Let's get that out the way. But I really think, I think Oregon's taking this game serious. I think they really are thinking, if we got Pac-12, because they got Pac-12 aspirations, they got playoff aspirations. People been telling me this Bo Nix is a beast. You know what I'm saying? I'll never get into that. He's gonna have to show me. Well, this is the perfect week to show me something. You know what I'm saying? I think if they got playoff Pac-12 playoff aspirations, it's gonna start this week. Because if you can't beat Colorado, you ain't going to USC and beat them boys.
You know what I'm
saying?
Yeah.
So I don't think Oregon's taking this game lightly, man. I think they might. I think it'll be closer than the spread saying. I don't know what the spread is.
It's 14.
Sometimes you just gotta believe.
It'll be closer because
you just gotta believe.
Yeah, I think Colorado's offense is elite. Now it hurts not having Travis, but
I got Colorado.
Defense, he's gonna be terribly missed, man. He's gonna be terribly.
Yeah, but I ain't gonna lie, bro. I gotta admit, man, Shedeur showed me enough, man. I'm good as long as
that's where my faith lies.
I'm gonna keep it a buck, bro. Like I keep it a buck. Shedeur is really him. Like the reason why I tell this shit top 5, yo, he's
watch Tom Brady be there too. Watch.
I'm gonna tell y'all why Shedeur has. I know people think like, oh, you J-Rob, you overreacting to Shedeur. I'm gonna tell you why Shedeur is already a top 5 pick to me, because I can't think of a quarterback in my life that have had in my lifetime personally that has not come into a program with more expectations, more pressure, more under a bigger microscope than Shedeur Sanders has at his time at the Colorado Buffaloes. And not only has he excelled past expectation, he's exceeded it. And it's showing you that he has every capability of being a franchise quarterback in the league, because not only does he have the pedigree from his father, he clearly has the knowledge and the IQ. Because I'm going to tell you the biggest throw of the night that nobody talks about, that 2-point conversion back of the end zone to the tight end with 2 guys in his face, and he throws a dot to Weaver back of the end zone. Well, no, like, bro, do you understand? A lot of guys are running out of the pocket and bailing out of there. Nobody's sitting in there with 2
that's
people.
A big boy throw.
That's a big boy throw.
That is an NFL. That is an NFL throw.
That is an NFL level throw. Those are the throws it takes to be somebody's franchise. And to me, out of every play, the 98 drive was elite. The operation, but that play alone told me this kid is top 5, bro. In that moment,
somebody told me his game don't translate though. That's what's crazy to me.
His game 100.
Somebody told me
his game 100.
His game doesn't translate.
Hold up. Whoa. Before we go into a tangent, I don't want to go down a Colorado tangent because I got a few more games and we're running short on time. So if anyone else has something to say about this game,
let me say my pick real quick. And Oregon, Colorado, and this is another team coming into my college journey that I've been dialed in, obviously for good reason. We got prime time, and Oregon scores a lot of points. Defense isn't that great, but I'll be honest, and I glad J-Rob brought this up because I was going to say it too. Even though the Colorado defense isn't great, they make plays. They get turnovers. They make the turnovers. Honestly,
they make plays, bro.
When you see the turnovers they be getting, bro, I'll be honest, these turnovers player made, bro. Get that pick six. So they got playmakers, and on the offensive side, Shedeur throwing dots, bro.
This is the cost
after dots.
Hey, this is what it's all about.
And the receivers are on the same page, which is another aspect, because even when the play breaks down, they know Shedeur wants me at this spot. They get into the play and make a play with Weaver, with Horn, even though Travis Hunter's not there. So if it's a shootout,
that's what it's all about.
I feel like the defense is not consistent.
I think y'all understating the loss of Travis Hunter, bro.
We're not understanding it.
Hold up. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this last point real quick, and then we gotta move on because we got like 20 minutes and there's few more. I know losing Travis Hunter is a huge blow. I completely get that. But my thing with it is, when I was talking about this, look at what Deion Sanders has done. If you've seen any of his speeches, if you go on their YouTube and you see what he's saying to these players,
you see everything on there.
This team is going to be more motivated to play, and they're going to do it for Travis if they can win this game. I think the loss is going to give them the motivation to play harder, to practice harder, to train harder, to go into this game. Because I think the whole country, one of the biggest things they're going to go into this game is, can Colorado State perform without Travis Hunter? And I think that if Deion is going to motivate them and get them to that level so that they can. I think losing, and I'm not saying that losing Travis Hunter doesn't exist, doesn't exist, and the loss of him does not cause a sacrificial blow. But I think Dion is going to find a way to motivate this team to not think about that and focus on their own game, which I think is going to be the most important.
I just think when it comes to execution, man, Shedeur right now is doing it at the highest level, man. I think between him, Michael Penix, and Caleb Williams right now, they're executing the quarterback.
I've been saying he's the number one. I've been saying he's the number one first round pick for the longest, but people don't understand because they think because he came from Jackson State. But I've been watching Shedeur since high school. People that have been watching him from high school been seeing what he's doing now. His pocket presence, his accuracy, his deep ball, medium. He could throw any ball you want. His composure is amazing. It's like his only flaw, I tell people, is that it's like a CJ Stroud flaw. It's like he chooses not to scramble at some
he want to throw that pill. He want to throw that pill.
Which I respect.
But just too different. Let me ask you this, but having that, even though he kind of like CJ Stroud looked like that shit translate to the league, though.
Yeah, but I already
looked like it
translate.
I knew it was too. No, I knew it was too. Just too different.
They
be telling us. They be telling us we scramble
because I know he's going to adapt. He's going to adapt in the NFL.
Hey, they be telling us we scramble too much.
He getting topped by the guys.
All right, I'm gonna rapid fire through a few of these games, and then I'll stick with two. So Auburn, Texas A&M. I got Texas A&M winning this one. I don't think Auburn's going to be able to get the job done in Kyle Field, and I think Texas A&M is going to win that game.
I got A&M. I'm gonna just keep it at that. Yeah,
A&M.
All right, A&M all over. UCLA and Utah. This game is a very tough game for UCLA, but I think Utah's gonna do it. I don't.
I ain't gonna lie. I got UCLA to upset.
I do too.
I got UCLA. I got the freshman. Yeah, I would say I got the freshman because I got the freshman tonight. Yeah.
All right. Oregon State, Washington State.
Oregon State. They're gonna because they can run the football, and Washington State don't really got a defense. I think that can handle the phillicality of what they got. And the one thing that Oregon State does that Clemson didn't do with DJU, they added him to the run game with them two great receivers he got. So I like Oregon State to win by like 12, by like 10 to 12.
DJ or Klubnik?
DJ for me. DJ to me still DJ.
All right.
They didn't surround anything in Clemson.
All right. Arkansas LSU. This is in Death Valley, mind you, so it's LSU.
Christ. I got LSU.
It's a night game in Death Valley. I'm never gonna.
Good Lord, pack them up.
I think that Florida State. I think that ass whooping by Florida State might have been the best thing that might have happened to that team.
We got
I think they're winning the SEC. I don't think they're losing.
Yeah, I think the LSU. Yeah, me too. I think they're going to win the SEC. Still, I think my pick for the win the SEC is still in play. I think that loss for Florida State was a great wake up, and I think if they had to play each other again in the playoffs, it won't look the same. It'll be a closer game.
Yeah, Arkansas. As much as I love you boys, we got to write y'all on the death note. Y'all not making out of that place alive. Last rapid fire before I get into these last two games. BYU versus Kansas. BYU went into Fayetteville and pulled off a really good game. Kansas is undefeated. They're not ranked. But it's a home game for Kansas. I got BYU. I think they did really well against Arkansas. I don't know what it is, but I think this team overall looks very solid. I think it will be a close game still, but I got BYU winning this thing.
I'm going actually Jalen Daniels, man. He's a monster. He's a monster. Yeah. I'm going to go Jalen Daniels and Kansas. Also, the only thing I will give BYU this, I think they're probably a little bit more physical of a football team, but I think the more explosive football team is what they got over there in Kansas. And I really think Jalen Daniels is the best player in the field in this game, and I think he can carry them. He is nice. He is good.
All right.
You want to talk about a culture changer? Jaden Daniels went into maybe one of the worst cultures in college football, maybe even history.
Talk about it. Yeah,
that's a great point. The only reason Kansas didn't finish well last year because he got hurt.
That's true.
That's a fact.
All right,
he's one of those, man, for real.
Two more than I got on my slate of amazing games this week. Second to last one, Iowa's going to play Penn State at home in a night game.
Jeez, I'm taking Penn State.
I don't doubt Penn State is good.
Hammer the under.
I ain't gonna lie.
That's the home team. I gotta take Penn State.
To me, Cade McNamara is not one of them dudes, so I'm gonna go and rock with Drew Aller because I like what I've seen out of him at Penn State. But I will say this is a great test for you, Drew Aller, because if you lose this one, I might have to put you on the.
I might
get my goggles out. You better go there and you better beat Cade McNamara at the crib.
All right, last one, and I chose this one last because this is, as a man from Mississippi, this is a rough one. Ole Miss is playing Alabama.
Oh, give me Ole Miss.
Give me
Oh my God! Give me Ole Miss. Oh my God!
Hold up.
Give me Jackson Dart.
Give me Jackson hold up. Dart. Big screen me for this because I got a lot I gotta say about this one real quick. So for years, Ole Miss has always struggled against Alabama. And for years, they've had the difficulty if they haven't been able to get over the heap. We beat them 2 times, 2014 and 2015, in 2 years. And every year after that, we had a close game or we got blown out. The past 3 games have really solidified me in every single form of this team. But I also have to realize that this is Alabama. And even though if they struggle, they can still pick it up in these conference games. But if there's a time that Alabama is vulnerable, it's now. And if there's a time that this Alabama team looks weak, we have to pounce. So, toddy, boys, give me Ole Miss in the upset. And Jackson Dart is going to
Alabama's
ball
out. Alabama's out the playoff.
I think
I don't know if it's a hot take. I don't know if it's a hot take, but I had Milroe having a crazy game. I just feel like after the benching,
did they name him the starter again?
Yeah, he got named the starter. He got named the starter. But I feel like after the benching, it's like as a quarterback when you get benched, it puts you into reality. Like, okay, now I got to get on my shit a little bit. So I feel like he's gonna come out and just have a crazy game for some reason. Like, his problem is the only problem with him is though he's actually like a rushing quarterback. Like he doesn't to me he doesn't just sit in the pocket and try to running back.
I just feel like the problem is he just don't. The thing is you have to. I don't think he's not a quarterback. He's a crazy rusher. That's very much one of his talents. But you have to run offense that caters to those things. Like you can't. Every quarterback's not created equal, bro. That's
another problem with Bama. They trying to make him be a quarterback that he's not.
Yeah, like Clemson. Yeah, it's like with Clemson. They try to make DJU, Watson, and
we taking these phony ass glasses off now.
Nah, this glasses is on, but I just want to look my. What they say. You need to look your killer in his eyes, man. Come on now. That's all I'm saying.
Just a hater, Meek, for real.
Yeah, for real.
Hater.
Yeah, he's a hater. But yeah, bro. I think they gotta just adapt the offense to him more because his legs is crazy, bro. So I think, and he could throw that shit deep. That's one of his better attributes.
Yeah, he got crazy arm strength.
He can throw the shit out of rock. Throw some shots. Put him in play action shots. Do more play action. Stop all of this. Everything don't gotta be a concept read 1, 2, 3. Sometimes just make it easy. You make it easy.
It's like I don't
but
know
make it easier. He's still a kid though. It's not like he's still a kid, bro. He's only like everybody's not going to be Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields. Everybody's not Caleb Williams. Everybody is not Dante Moore and all these players that can be true freshmen or redshirt freshmen and just play. You gotta
standard, bro.
That's not standard.
That Alabama standard, bro. They need a good quarterback.
No, that's not true. Alabama, that's not true. Alabama, that's not true. Because if you're watching Alabama was for before Jalen Hurts and. First of all, see, that's where you got to know your history about
their quarterbacks
because before Jalen Hurts to Bryce Young, bro, them quarterbacks they had was upperclassmen that had been in the program for years. There was not a bunch of freshmen who was demanded to be. I think Jalen Hurts. That's all I'm saying. Like these young kids, you can still I'm not saying the demand to win games shouldn't still be there. I'm just saying you got to just make it more palatable. You feel me? Like even Caleb Williams, as good as he is, I promise you the playbook that the way he could use the playbook now at USC was not always the same when he first got into that offense at Oklahoma because he's had the same offense with the same coach.
When he was at Oklahoma, he did more running. He was just running, just playing back.
Yeah, he was running more than
he was improvising and stuff. So I'm just saying, like, you gotta grow, you gotta develop, and I understand because of what the name is on the front of the jersey, but Alabama, you ain't really been to the Natty in a few years, so it's not even like it's been a little minute. It's been since freshman year with redshirt freshman year with Bryce Young. You feel me? So I'm not really too lost, man. I like Hottie Toddy. I like Hottie Toddy, bro.
Yeah.
Give me Ole Miss, man. Because at the end of the day, what we gotta admit too, stop looking like my boy Shedeur says. I don't look at names. Alabama's offensive line, not great. Hottie Toddy got a nice little thing up front. I watched them play. They don't got nothing crazy. I don't think they secondary. They best defender in they secondary outside of Kool-Aid is Caleb Downs, who's a true freshman, 18-year-old. So he's still young. You know, he's still going to be a young player. He's going to be, by the time he's junior, he's going to be a lock to go first round. I'll tell you that right now, though. He's that type of player. But they're very
trial by
notable.
fire.
Yeah, but
trial,
trial by fire. Like, he's the most talented player, so he's out there. But I'm looking at this game like Jackson Dart ain't no scrub. They go out there and get their playmakers to rock. You know, Ole Miss got some players now. And don't look at that Tulane game like, oh, but they was in a dogfight with Tulane. Tulane is good.
Tulane is good. People forget. People forget that Tulane beat USC in the Cotton Bowl.
Yes, and they're better than South Florida. So I'll tell you that right now. Tulane is a better team than that South Florida team that they just that Alabama can only score 17 against and scored that 17 late because it was about to get ugly. I say this: USF should have did more trick plays. I would have pulled every rabbit out of the hat to get me into that end zone, and that's what they should have did, bro.
Yeah.
Halftime, we emptying the playbook, J-Rod.
I'm everything. We going Philly special, like we doing
ladder, fumble
Rooski.
We bringing all the
pulling out everything.
We faking a field goal. What we doing?
Yeah, we're pulling out every stop.
I think Lane Kiffin's aggressive play style is going to help them too, because if he could start the game, because I know what he's going to do. If we win the coin toss, he's going to give us the ball first. And what he's got to do is he's got to run that aggressive play style, get Bama, knock Bama off, and get them a little wavered. And if we can tilt them off just a little bit, that could be the factor of us winning this game.
Yeah.
And I think this could be the game that knocks Bama out the playoffs. But I think if we play that game on offensively, because if you look at the past 3 games, we've had solid offensive play every game. I believe in Jackson Dart. I believe in this wide receiving core. And for the first time, I actually can go into a game in like 10 years and say this Ole Miss team could actually have a shot at beating Alabama. Yeah. Yes, Cottage, I see you in the chat. Shout out to you. I see you. You don't got to scream my name.
Yo, but bro, hold on. I got to say one more. This one game that you didn't bring up that I think for real is going to have major Big 12 implications down the long run that you didn't mention. UCF versus Kansas State. Because I've told you, I don't know if you was in the chat, Grant, it's on the Discord, but I put out there, and I don't think you was in there either, Trey. I said, how much stake are we willing to put in that UCF could shock some people in the Big 12 in year one? Because they got a really good fucking team. John Rice Plumlee is a good quarterback, one of the best outside of this. Well, Shedeur's in the pack. In the Big 12, I mean, there's not Quinn Ewers at the top, and then it's kind of your pick of the litter who's second, third, fourth, depending on you go. And I think I might go John Rice Plumlee at that second best guy in the Big 12. Or you can go Gabriel if you like him over in Oklahoma. So UCF, Kansas State, depending on how UCF plays in this game, I think we might have to start looking at them as could they come in their first year in the Big 12 and find themselves sneak up into a Big 12 championship?
Don't say nothing. I'm gonna lay in the weeds. Don't nobody see me. I'm just gonna let it happen. I'm not gonna say nothing. I'm just gonna let it happen.
I'm gonna put it out there. I'm gonna put it out there because I've said it. In the chat.
If we win this week,
if they beat Kansas State, I'm a believer. I think I'm a believer.
Yeah.
I think I'm a believer.
We also have to understand the only reason why Kansas State lost is because Missouri hit a ridiculous 61-yard field goal. That was the most ridiculous shit I've ever seen.
And Luther Burden played out of his.
Yeah.
Luther is great. Hey, Luther Burden. Hey, brother, you're going in either the first, second, or third round because
y'all just want half my government name out there. What y'all doing?
Your name Nah, bro. Luther, this boy Luther.
My name is Luther.
Well, listen, Luther. Luther Burden. Listen, remember the name. Luther Burden III plays at Missouri. That receiver is one of the best receivers in the country. I don't care what you tell me. I don't care for real. I don't care where he plays at. He is like that. So,
how do y'all feel about the Horton dude, Colorado State?
Oh, he's a dog too. He's getting drafted off of that Colorado game, bro.
Yeah,
he could play, bro. He could play. He was a dog. There's a few players like I think at the top is Keon Coleman and Marvin Harrison. That's cute wide receiver 1 and 2. But there's some guys now that I think what's them 2 receivers at
for themselves.
Yeah, them two receivers at Washington too. Now I'm telling you, they both nice. Don't sleep. But hey, y'all, we got.
If you're an NFL team and you need some offensive pieces, this might be the draft.
Yeah, this might be the draft to go get it. Get you a quarterback and a receiver. Quarterback and receiver might be the premium of this freaking draft. No bullshit.
Oh my god.
I mean, bro, y'all need a quarterback. Make sure I go get a quarterback.
We need a line. Did you see what Danny Dimes did? 250. 60 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Bro, you understand? I'm gonna tell you what happened.
Oh,
the coach, Mike Gannon came.
Don't do
Mike,
it, bro.
Listen,
Don't,
I'm gonna tell you what happened.
Don't do
listen,
it.
Listen, I'm gonna do it. That's what I'm gonna tell you what happened. In the locker room of that game, the owner came out of his booth. He went into the locker room of the Cardinals. He said, Mike Gannon, before you go talk to the team, let me talk to you real quick. Do you think, he said, you want to be here, right, Mike Gannon? You want to be here for the long haul of your career, right? You think it would be appropriate for come out here and beat the Giants on the home? It's been entertaining for now, but you make sure you do what it takes to make sure we go 0-2 this week.
Wow, the conspiracy theories.
That's not conspiracy. I'm gonna tell you why it's not. I'm gonna tell you why. Hold on, okay? Conspiracy, right? Conspiracy, right? Well, let me ask you this question: did or did not ownership of the Miami Dolphins ask Brian Flores that they would pay him a bonus for every game he won to tank? Is that conspiracy, or did that not happen?
Prove it in court.
It's proven in court.
So,
that is
exactly.
True.
So if that could happen, exactly. So if that can happen, why can't I say when Caleb Williams is on the line? It's Caleb Williams, y'all. Grant,
it's
what
the next one, man.
What are you doing for Caleb Williams, brother?
Let me say something. What
are you willing to do for Caleb Williams, bro?
I am an unbiased Giants fan. Don't
do it.
Okay. And
Don't
I'll be honest.
Don't do
it. It looked kind of strange considering the Cardinals were dominating the Giants. And I was watching the game. I was disgusted what I was seeing on the field. I'm like, bro, how is Joshua Dobbs dissecting this defense? This bad? They are wide open.
And Kayvon Thibodeau, where are you, brother? I haven't seen you dominate a game yet.
New players, bro.
But with that being said, y'all, that's our 2-hour mark. Chat. We appreciate y'all. This will be a great week. We'll see y'all.
Say top 10.
We'll see y'all on Thursday.
I'm not doing this argument, so I gotta run. But see y'all later.
See you later. Thursday is our NFL day here on Open Field. So make sure you come back. We'll definitely be talking about your Giants. We'll be talking about Deshaun Watson, and make sure I catch us on the press box. And if you follow me on YouTube, I'm streaming today. I'm back on Twitch. I'm back streaming. I'm back on YouTube streaming. Come holla at me.
All right, be easy,
let's
fellas.
get it. All right, y'all be good.